I do the free camera first. Welcome to the Salty Dragon Tavern. Pull up a chair, grab a drink, and come watch us play some Dungeons and Dragons. Say hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Is the top camera's not working yet again?
Oh,
yeah, so Alice, can you see if you can just quickly get it to kick back in again?
Turn it off and back on again.
I might be able to do it from my side.
I was going to say, so everyone is us three.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hi. And Nick.
Thank you.
Your scrolly thing is loading. Ah! No, that's the background. Where the hell
So this is where I can make rude gestures and no one can see.
Until it refreshes.
that one.
And this is what I think of the Shisha Deck.
Actualia!
No
How are you,
one
my
will
friend?
know.
Yes.
I will give you this so we can
Right side players.
so we can confuse them out.
Is that the one that's not working?
Two of the cameras have decided to...
Yeah.
No, they're working.
No.
Why is there no one showing up? They're sitting right
Oh,
there.
yeah, of course.
Wow.
Are we nothing to you?
Yes.
Right, hang on. Someone's got stuff flying on cabling over there, Alice.
Get your shit off the
Get up shit off the cabling.
Oh dear. Your bag.
I don't know what you've...
No, it was my
The power
charger
brick.
cable. My power block. I hadn't gotten that far. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do a jillion things at once. While nursing
turn
my
towards Ash, turn towards
ailments.
Ash, turn towards Ash, stop.
Up a bit.
Turn towards Ash again.
No, this is just the Chris show.
And
Yeah, now
put it
stop.
up a bit.
All Chris all the time.
There is no Ash.
Let's be honest, no one would watch that.
I would.
Rule 34.
Jesus.
I was going to say, it'd just be a blank screen.
That's when we know we've made it, when someone Rule 34's us.
Someone please rule 34 us.
Oh, God.
Alice!
What?
Two
Yeah,
cameras.
okay. I figured out which camera this is, but what do you want to do with them?
I'll switch them off and on again, essentially. And see if that does anything. If not...
No. I'm just hiding them. Do I have to delete them and put them back on in?
Nah, that's just going to cause an even bigger set of issues.
Can change scene and change back.
Hey, it's Tim.
Hey! Nah. I don't know why. They decided today to not actually start playing the game. They decided that today... No, it's not going to work today. Let's come and get food everywhere. All right.
Mix up.
Alice is doing stuff. All right. Welcome to the Sunday Nights Dungeons and Dragons thing. What were you doing then?
Changing
Nothing.
scene.
Nothing.
All
It's
right.
fine. Everything's fine.
Of course, Monday nights at the Tramway Hotel in Fitzroy in North Melbourne. If you are in that part of the world and you don't have a Dungeons and Dragons group,
Even if you do.
even if you do and you don't, or you have never played before, it's actually also good for it. Come along to the Tramway Hotel and check the email out there on the poster there. Book in with Jeremy and tell us you're coming along. And if you want me as your GM, by all means say so. Otherwise, we have several GMs there for everyone's pleasure.
I know Tim said not to interrupt, but I just want to second. I went for the first time the other week. Really good fun. And the
Actually,
food is good there as
we're
well.
actually, hopefully, if we start getting more bookings, then yeah, you got to come along more often, and then we'll get the next GM, which might be Ash, to come along as well if we get enough bookings and so on and so forth. I want to fill that place out.
That'd be pretty cool.
Well, if we fill out the other side as well. Basically, just say kick everyone out and make it the D&D night.
Can you imagine if the bouncers say, "Sorry, you can't come in without a dice bag"?
I got mine right
All right.
here.
Apparently, the audio is muted, so I have no idea why it's muted.
Oh, dear me.
I did say that.
No,
Even
not
though
one
there's
more.
audio actually going through there.
So is it zero audio or is it really quiet audio?
No. I don't think it's on this scene. That's what I was doing before. It's on the other scene. I'm pretty sure it's muted.
All right, cool. Yeah, we'll fix that up. in a
The
second.
mixer is muted.
The mixer is
So
muted.
can the people in the comments verify if that's the case?
Can you hear us now?
Because if you can't hear us, you won't hear the instruction to say the
Peanuts.
word parrot in the comments.
No, peanuts.
Peanuts.
From the
Peanuts.
peanut gallery.
Oh yeah.
Peanuts is such a cool word.
Yeah, Actually can hear us.
Woohoo!
Thanks, mate. All right, we'll get to the next part, of course. That was the Tramway Hotel, of course. Introductions to Sirenscape as well as tabletopaudio.com, the two audio people that we like to use for this stream. So all of the weird musics and sounds and all that type of stuff I get from both of those. Really good stuff. Highly recommended if you're running some Dungeons & Dragons. Of course, we always like to give out a shout out to our local Melbourne group, Roll With Advantage, for their dice, and they've got a whole heap of cool stuff there, so go check out the website. It's an Australian site, so rollwithadvantage.com.au. Nice and simple. And of course, we have our t-shirts.
I did it! I found it! Boobs! I mean, t-shirt design.
You mean Shazoo?
Shazoo.
Right, you know what? You know what we're going to do? We're going to do two things. I'm going to show that t-shirt in the actual bigger view so everyone can see it. Also, I think they can hear us now, hopefully, maybe, if we're lucky.
Hello.
Tulio, can you hear us now that we've got the audio back in?
I think he's just distracted by boobs.
He's distracted. I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all.
Okay, put that away now. Just wait till summer comes around, oh boy.
I'm not looking forward to it.
Yeah,
Tim will be
I'll
going
wear a
around
bikini.
Everyone's wearing mankinis.
I actually have one.
Executive veto, please.
Were you there around at the party at Jono's place?
I don't
No,
know.
I missed that.
Okay.
I missed that. Actually goes, yes, I can hear you perfectly. Sorry. Orally distracted. I want to apologise for people who were eating on the stream because we were trying to sort of stop that type of stuff, but it said everyone turned up late. Everyone but Chris who turned up at
Hey,
several
I turned up exactly on time.
You still turned up late.
It's just that my on time is late.
Well, if only Chris cooked dinner, it'd be fine.
Hey! Do you want to eat my cooking?
Yeah, sure, why not?
I don't know. Have I ever had your cooking?
Bad idea.
Okay.
It is a bad idea.
I can't cook. I admit it.
Do you burn tins of soup?
Oh yeah.
Okay, then. Perfect.
More like
He doesn't open them before he puts them in the microwave.
More like I melt the aluminium into the soup.
While we're distracted, I love all the faces you guys made in this photo because I didn't notice any of them and I'm just looking at it now going,
I literally do one every time you take a photo,
Only when you're paying attention.
which is not very often, let's be honest.
smell.
I thought you said I can spell, and I was going to say I disagree.
Oh, this is nice.
And it's the smidges.
No. This is like church elevator music.
Oh,
That's right, that's the idea.
It's
Church elevator.
Yes,
This is a
church
very
elevator music.
specific elevator music.
It's a weird church that has an elevator.
I know.
Or
And no. It's
Is it
the
an
elevator that
elevator
brings
which
the
has-
coffin up.
It's an elevator to heaven.
Gets you closer to God.
please no. I
what? If you play the song backwards, it's a raised dead spell.
I picked up Endgame on Blu-ray and I watched it this morning.
Wait, have you not seen it?
I had seen it, but I saw it again and I cried again.
Which one's Endgame? What?
The one where everyone dies.
Alright.
So which Endgame? I was just thinking Ender's Game. No, that's
Avengers Endgame.
Oh, that one.
Yes.
I like this. I really like quite peaceful too. Quite peaceful.
Soothing.
No.
No.
Until Chris starts demonstrating.
No, you need to have this as like the battle song. Easy listening murder. It's like AM radio genocide.
Genocide. 2UE, genocide.
Oh, so
Shall we play a game?
yes,
Shall we
you
play a
have
game?
prepared a very comprehensive list of all of our adventures prior to this
I
point, don't you?
have.
Shh. I would love to hear it.
In fact, maybe we should all just walk out, go have a cigarette while Tim does this, because we are going to interrupt.
How about you control yourself and not?
I will punch him for every time he interrupts.
That's not helping.
It's
It
not
helps
like
me.
It's not
that. We're on the same wavelength.
If you learn from his mistakes, maybe. But
Alright, I think the music isn't quite right for this.
It's
though.
called percussive education.
I think for
Or kinetic
our
learning.
current journey, something more along the lines of Benny Hill or
Maybe
Flight of
something along the
Valkyries or
lines of
something.
Screaming?
Probably.
Bluegrass.
Let's try this.
Oh, can you get dueling banjos?
Oh yeah.
I was just thinking the song from Thor.
Actually, the
Yes!
What?
the
Moving
Banjo
song.
Kazooie theme
That's
would
exactly
actually be
how I
perfect.
feel right now.
It perfectly sums up our party. The Banjo Kazooie theme.
Yes.
I don't know. I've just finished a really long shit, so I just come out and go, "What's going on, fellas?"
This
We're having far too much fun.
You know what the best song for was?
RuneScape is absolutely fantastic. So if you're actually doing D&D, I highly recommend
I suggest looking up the song "Music to Buy Toasters To."
it. Buy two.
It's like the Sims 1 buy music kind of style.
I feel like Tim's distracting himself.
No, I'm just waiting.
Preemptive distraction.
Pretty much. Alright, I think it's good enough. It'll do the trick.
We're playing D&D. No, we're not. Don't lie.
Nah, don't
Lying
We
on
will be by the time I post this. I'm slow
I
at
was
this shit.
about to start then.
How about shut up?
Fuck you, it's none of your business. That sentence didn't even make sense.
So Tim, please beguile me with your stories.
There's actually a song that I wanted to play, but I can't actually play it because of copyrights and stuff like that.
Can
so
you badly mime it?
if you've seen Supernatural, especially in the later seasons, there's always one particular song they always start off when they're doing the recap of everything that they've done.
Oh, it used to be way
Carry
more.
my wayward
Yeah, I was gonna
son.
say, that was from season 1.
Yeah.
Like, every episode of Supernatural starts with Wayward Son. It's amazing.
Whoa.
Hey Maddock, how you doing, man? Alright, let's get into this. Let's do Sunday nights, everyone. So, the party has been traveling for a very, very, very long time. They have gone through many trials and tribulations. And that's too loud. For here, anyway. They started off in their journey in the Salty Dragon Tavern, all the way from the port of Warmia, where they all met together and encountered this shady little individual that started off their adventure.
Goddamn Mary.
They went through and found this tomb, and in that tomb they encountered a wraith. One of the party members had fallen to the wraith during that encounter, of course, which everyone else forgot his name. However, back then, Yorla decided that in memory of this particular person, he would collect his ashes and took it upon himself to try and find his family so he can deliver what was left of him. From there, they tranced around Gdansk itself, trying to find this and that and not really sort of having any guidance. Talking to members of the underworld in half-assed ways. And one party member deciding that he really needed a poisonous kit. and in doing so, set a chain reaction of events to happen. For they had travelled through many, many different alchemists and many other particular groups of people to try and get themselves this poisonous kit. Travelling from the port of Warmia first, where they didn't find any, then travelling to Gdansk because it was a bigger city and still not finding any. However, on their fourth try for an alchemist, they had stumbled upon what they now know as the Cult of Xenofeld. A innocent little shack that was an alchemist was hiding something far more sinister that the players had uncovered. A combat ensued in that area. A fire elemental was summoned. Fireballs went off aplenty because we did not pay attention to rules properly. Many zombies were killed in the presence of this creature. The druid who had basically put this all together had managed to escape and turn into a wolf. Tried to get tracked down by someone else who also turned into a wolf to follow the scent. However, unfortunately, that they knew the city far better than them and they lost their trail. They had met up with a particular gentleman who was also part of it, a lookout, and from him they managed to get some information about them leaving. So they decided that the only way they could get any information about this death cult was to head to their base of operations in this black city at the heart of Mousillon. Well, that's the information that they had managed to gather. In doing so, they took a ship and a 3-month journey across the waters. They had, for the briefest of moment, become shipwrecked on an island, not too far from another island, which was an entrance to a cave. What was supposed to be a simple little jaunt through a underwater dungeon turned into something far more interesting, where most of the party had, some of the party members, had to turn on themselves or turn on each other over crabs. And yes, I did that on purpose.
I would do it again.
And in doing so, one of the party members had gone catatonic and had almost started to leave with the party. Another one had called to his god, and his god intervened. And from then on in, there was a change in the party, for a little while at least. They travelled on the waters for quite some more time, and they encountered a storm lord. A strange and mystical storm had come and taken over the ship, which required an attack from various storm people, being barbarians of the storm and sorcerers who could teleport particular members across the ship. And of course, the storm lord cleric himself, who decided at the end not to join the fight. From there, they had a few more encounters. They jumped into this small little port town and encountered a cliff face that had a set of tunnels through it. And in these tunnels that they managed to sort of encounter some ants, giant ants. And they uncovered the matriarchal leader of those ants. And instead of killing her, they made a deal. Exchanged for food, for the gold that they could mine in the area. And they have put themselves together on a path of business arrangements. Once that business arrangement had been dealt with and some people had been put in charge to look after it, they headed off, travelling towards Mousillon itself. They landed in Summerport, a port town in Lyonesse, at the edge of the borders of Mousillon itself. From there, they had to have a bit of a look around to see if they get any more information, any more trips, any more tips or anything like that in relation to. Waiting for Alice to sneeze.
It's okay. It passed with a shudder. It's all good. I got distracted because Maddie Morgs raided, and I saw it just as I went to sneeze, and it went weird.
In the town of Summerport, they had to look around to see if they get any more trails to the death cult itself. And in doing so, they had managed to find an underground resistance of a few Bretons here and there. Made a few deals here and there and helped them out in a few places here and there to sort of get them moving in the right direction. They managed to sort of also encounter some gargoyles made of sandstone who were protectors of the Church of the Lady in the area. From there, they built their new cart. the candy pillar, as one would say, or the caterpillar, as another one would say. Their epic little engineering project put together by the druid of all people, of which will be built on over time. In doing so, they also caught up with someone that they'd met a couple of times who would travel on a ship with them, who decided to start traveling in the caravans with them, their old friend Valen, gunslinger extraordinaire. And they traveled off across the countryside for another 2 to 3 months of journey to get to the city of Mousillon, the Black City of Mousillon. Along those travels, they also encountered some very interesting things, including some revelations from the gods that they were connected to, whether it be the Raven Queen or Tia, or Helm or Torm or whoever it happens to be. There was a few of you guys were contacting, as well as a few revelations in their dreams, especially when they were talking to a weird fey tree in a forest. After they travelled to the fey tree, they travelled to a small village and then also talked to the priests that were also there and learnt a lot more about what was going on, including stars that had fallen from the skies. Constellations in the world who had major stars disappear and had been for quite some time. They moved on from there, encountered a large orc warband raiding force, and managed to sort of deal with them, including a war boss on the back of a wyvern who was quite deadly. From there, they travelled on through the mountains and went down the particular path that the caravan was designing not to want to go down, because of a haunted village of which they also checked out. They checked out this haunted village, and from there they found out that there was actually in the area, it was just a ruse of a small Breton force who had camped in the mountains and using the village as a way to sort of keep people coming into the area. They joined them, had a talk with them, made some plans, and decided that while they were waiting for their plans to sort of come to fruition with the help of these particular people, that they'd go travel into the Dwarven Citadel in the area and check this place out. In the Dwarven Citadel, they had learnt that particular members of this citadel, many years ago, had been experimenting with turning people's souls into automatons. In doing so, they encountered that the particular person who was looking after all of this research and all of these constructions was also a follower of death, and using this as a means to potentially extend the lives of anyone who wanted to, and essentially bypass death itself. They took him out, fought close to 100 automatons, killing them quite considerably because we also did another rule wrong.
Creative interpretation.
Creative interpretation. In staying in this citadel, Yorlan himself, through his trials and tribulations, had gathered this bit of rock, a bit of coal that would constantly burn. With this rock in the lava in the citadel, he chucked it in to see if it would give him something more about information about what was going on. For the briefest of moments, while it was burning within the lava pools, the lava river down the bottom of the citadel, a small vision came to Yorlan about a multi-changing dragonborn in the Imperial City, far to the southwest. After they'd left the citadel and had a look around and gathered all the things that they gathered from that place, they headed on to a major town within Bastion, and I've completely forgotten the name of it.
Montanoil?
Montanoil, please, thank you. In Montanoil, there was a large 100-foot maple tree in the center of town, something bigger than any maple tree has ever been. The hollows of the maple tree had been turned into a hospice for the locals in the area. Inside the town itself, they had discovered, though, that the hospital come at a cost. The dead would be interned into the hospital, and in doing so, they'd be turned into undead soldiers for the armies of Mousillon. And the party decided to take it upon themselves to stop this operation from happening. However, things did not go according to plan. They come out after they dealt with the two major clerics who were looking after this operation into the city itself, accosted by guards, and in trying to escape, Yorlin was killed. The death of Yorlin had paid its toll, and the price on everyone else was quite high. They were scattered. 2 people had been captured and put into jail. Others didn't even know what had happened yet. They weren't in the area when it happened, and everything was falling apart. They did a jailbreak and managed to get the 2 compatriots out of the jail. Some of them had learnt at that particular time that Yorlin had been killed. They had met a new person called Volkia, who was also a priest within the tree itself. An undercover priest, per se, who managed to get Yorlin's body out of the tree, at least enough for them to be able to take it away and give him his proper burial rites. But they had to leave the city of Montanoil really quick. Real quick. They managed to leave that and head north towards the black city of Mousillon itself, heading through the Fey Forest. They gave Yorlin his rites, his burial rites, putting him on a pyre of fire, and said their goodbyes. Then they travelled further north through the Fey Forest, where they met with a group of other druids and druid-like followers and friends. A group of 5 people who were together formed a moot. And the reason why they formed this moot, because a green dragon had housed itself inside the forest itself. And they were looking for means to get rid of this particular green dragon. And then, of course, the rest of the party also arrived, and in doing so, they formed an alliance and then travelled north towards the ancient temple, which the green dragon had called home. Through their travel heading towards that, they had encountered some interesting little creatures with big red hats and big metal boots. They also encountered a friendly necromancer. Alchemist at first in his own little log cabin. But after that, he revealed himself who he truly was. There was a lot of undead in the area that came out of nowhere. Conveniently. But the necromancer was defeated. But learning through all of the notes that he'd taken in the area, plus all the other bits of evidence, that this necromancer was also under cahoots with the green dragon itself. To what level was not fully understood, but he was. Part of his help. They headed north to the temple, up the mountain, and they found the green dragon. He approached Rayleigh briefly to see if he can convince him to turn on his friends, which of course did not work. Then a battle ensued against the green dragon with 13, essentially 13 players, and the green dragon didn't have much of a chance. And the green dragon was defeated. They parted their ways with the other 5 from the moot, travelled back on their caravan, and headed north through the Valley of Bone. The last final stretch before they were heading to the Black City itself. Through travelling through the Valley of Bone, they had noticed that the centre of the valley had turned into this small little Mousillon that had been put together for them through strange means of an old gentleman who were using the undead in the area to basically build a crypt, a catacomb per se. They had a talk with him. They destroyed some of the undead trying to get him to have a talk with him. But otherwise, they got some information about the Black City itself and about what he was doing here. They have finally moved on past the valley itself of Bone, heading over the crest and into the farmlands that are outside of the Black City itself, but they have not quite seen the city itself. Their final day, which they know they are only one day or travel away. And they start travelling on their caravan towards the Black City itself. It is now heading towards the afternoon, somewhat even the evening. The sun is starting to set down across the horizon again. As your caravan comes up to the crest of a hill, then rides over the top. And you see the massive, massive walls representing the city of Mousillon. Inside the city itself, on the right-hand side, you can see the main citadel of Mousillon itself, blackened and charred. You see many tall spires around it, as well as other mansions, and you can definitely see to the right-hand side of the city itself, where most of the nobles and the rich people live. However, most of the city is still black. On the left-hand side of the city, inside the walls, at this time of the night, as you're traveling over the crest of the hill and the sun is going down, a flare of light suddenly erupts. A giant flame inside a tower, kind of like a lighthouse. And however, unlike a lighthouse, it's not a direct beam in any particular sense, it's just a very bright light. It is a contrast to the rest of the city itself being dark and black, as if a flash fire had come through it. As you approach closer and closer, you also notice that at the front of the city itself, outside of the city walls, is something akin to another large town, a shanty town, of various buildings that have been put together hastily in the last few years, and seem to be living autonomously to the city itself. And that is pretty much where you are right now, as you approach the black city of Mousillon.
It is blacker than I expected.
I mean, what
Really?
did you expect?
Like, the name did not give it away.
No, I expected some kind of black, but not everything to be black.
To be fair,
okay.
I
Many
kind of
names,
agree with you. It
exaggerated.
kind of looks burnt, right?
Well, I mean, the city,
yes,
the
but-
Valley of Bones wasn't that was pretty exaggerated, wasn't it?
They have,
Yes, it wasn't very burny.
they have a building just for fire. I hate it.
Well,
What?
you don't know. That's just what the building's for. Most places have a building just for fire, like blacksmiths.
But if you put the fire only in the building, it will not be elsewhere. You're safer.
That's a good point.
This town cannot burn down like forest.
It has burned down. Look at it.
I cannot burn down anymore.
I think it can.
No, I don't know. The
Hi,
shanty
Amir.
town
When
was-
did you join us?
Oh, sorry, I had the hood up on my cloak of elven kind.
It's so good.
Oh, by the way, Amber now
Is
looks
now an
like
elf.
that.
Okay.
How'd you draw
She got a
it?
punk rock. She got a punk rock.
A very terrible drawing, just so I can
Ah,
remember
yeah,
what it
yeah,
looks like. It was a very quick drawing.
So, from this crest of the hill at dusk, how far away are we from the city?
You reckon by the time the sun actually goes down past the horizon, you should reach the edge of the shanty town without too much of a drum.
Okay.
Okay, so it's like a couple of miles or something.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Guys, we're going to just to make it to the edge of a shanty town, by my estimation. Do we want to travel through it in the dark?
We should probably get into the town. I mean,
Most after the dark.
well, preferably because most travelers aren't going to camp outside the city. It brings attention to us if we camp outside.
Not if no one knows we're here.
I don't know if
I
they closed
want
the
to-
gates or not.
I want a
I
fire.
don't know if they are
I
yet.
want a
Are they
shower. I want a bed.
You don't really see the gates from here, but you can definitely actually probably
Can we
those
see a
with
wall?
decent. Yeah, you can definitely see the wall.
Wow.
Yeah.
But the shanty town doesn't have its own walls.
No.
No, it is the cannon for the.
There's a tiny bit of a. You reckon about 5 to 10 feet cliff up to the walls themselves, and a little bit of a dirt ramp that sort of goes up to the main gates. And those who do actually have decent vision from here can probably see that the gates are closed.
I would suggest we just go into the shanty town. It is unlikely that they even have guards in there. From the looks of it,
It gives us a chance to find out more of what is happening before we go in.
True.
Do we want disguise name thingamabobs before or after the shanty town?
I would think before, but people do not like my name, so maybe you can come up with your own name.
I did actually.
What?
That's good to hear, Reed.
No, Bow. Call me Bow.
You never
yes,
told me what
fine.
my name is. You never told me.
Were you not Sancho?
Sancho.
Sancho.
Oh shit.
I don't think I will remember that.
Sancho. We'll remember it.
I'm not a big fan, but fine. I trust you.
What was my name?
Your name was Louis Michon.
And what does it mean?
Fillet of
Louis
fish.
means Louis. Michon means half man.
I'm better than half a man. I'm
He is a
full
whole
of
man. He has a head and feet and arms and legs and a body. He's not half a man. I mean, we could cut you in half, but then
Let's
we wouldn't
not.
have an Amir. I mean, Antoine.
Right. Anyway, let's. I would think that we
If
would
there is
be
better
best
names, then
just-
have better names.
I think I do not care, to be honest.
I have settled with Terrell.
I'm not gonna remember any of these.
Let's just enter the town.
Okay.
I thought about it, and well, my beard doesn't quite cover my boobs as much as it used to now that I've groomed it properly. So Angus isn't gonna work so well anymore.
Angustina.
No, I thought I'd just, do a variation of my brother's name, Alexandra.
That will do. Let's go.
It works. It's also a good lucky stone, Alexandrite. It has good luck, and never mind. You probably don't want to know.
I don't care.
Why not?
I think-
If you stick with, instead of Angus, just change letters and you can be Agnes.
Oh, that's an awful name. No. I didn't know. That was my awful grandmother on my oh, no. We're not going there. No,
Right.
not that one.
Let's.
I will refer to none of you by name and just point.
Here's the better way. This
That-
is my
that is
companion.
okay, number
This
4.
is my companion. This is my
Okay.
number 4. Eh?
No, bow.
No, he's
I
bow.
could be Mr. Black, you can be Mr. Pink, you can be Mr. Yellow.
What about Mr. Pink?
Did you say I could be Mr. Mustard Yellow?
I didn't say mustard, I just said yellow. Because you'd have to be Colonel Mustard.
Clearly, he's hungry.
I am hungry actually. Can we eat?
I've
Find some food.
good berries.
I'm kind of sick of them, to be honest.
Proper food would be nice. Let us get into town.
Can you do good berries with other flavors?
No,
I can flavor the good berries.
that's also fibrous though. I like it.
Keeps regular.
Good berries keep elves regular.
I imagine it's like chewing on a dry wheat bix.
No, that's
but
why they
with,
have to-
like.
No.
That's why I have to trance for 4 hours to like physically will the food through their body.
Right.
They wouldn't have to trance at all if they ate.
It's like
Two-thirds
I
of
imagine
all
the
effort is
texture is like
digested.
chewing on like pulped wheat bix and straw. That's sort of what I'm feeling from it.
I mentally can't separate the texture from the dryness of Weet-Bix, so I'm not.
Yeah, no, like,
Yeah.
but with a
I
bit
just
of water.
pictured it's just like a super raisin.
That, yeah.
It's just like having a raisin which makes you feel full and
So,
gives you
I
energy.
think it was like a protein.
It's like a raisin mixed with crack. You only need a small amount to keep you going all day.
Alright.
This just makes me think of like that roll double where they make all the pheasants fall asleep.
Oh,
Pheasants or peasants?
yeah.
Pheasants.
Okay.
Pheasants, yeah, I remember that.
They get raisins and they inject them with
Yeah.
like sleeping pill ground up or something.
Yeah,
They all
they're
fall asleep.
poaching. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway,
Oh, look, a shanty town, shall we?
yes, let's.
And what's your name, Amir?
Hmm?
Who are you? Oh, wait.
I was going to be Farouk.
That will do.
Farouk Al Rashid.
are we not worried about the giant amount of money that we are carrying?
Not if you
It's,
don't mention it.
it's all in bags of magic.
No, a bit of
No,
it is in bags of magic.
bit of
The
it
rest is in a
is-
big pile that we sleep on.
Oh well, I have my share and one other person's share in the haversack.
I have mine and 3 other people's.
And we have big piles in the
I'm
back
pretty
of the
sure I carried mine in big bags.
The cart is locked as well.
Or like
I-
a sack of some kind.
I think we need to.
Yeah, that's great security.
Honestly, we have enough money.
Hey,
Do we
it's the-
really require
No,
all
they
of it
busted out.
anyway?
right there.
Antoine,
great security.
I think we'll need.
we
I think we'll need your
the
bed
lock
for
got
storage.
busted, didn't
If we
it?
lose,
Oh, my bed has been in storage for
Did you?
hours. It's
if
never
we
been told.
lose-
No, it hasn't been converted over yet, so no time's actually.
We are
set
carrying
aside.
enough money anyway. If we lose what's in the cart, who cares?
I'm sure some people care.
The term
Suddenly-
enough money is very rare in this world.
Suddenly, the old shanty town becomes a palace. We'll know what's happened then.
Are you saying that if we have to flee by the wagon, we might have to offload the money to keep the weight down, and then the peasants will get it, and they'll make a statue in our honor and sing songs about us?
Yeah.
I mean, it could work as an escape plan.
Way too much Firefly there.
That
Right.
being said,
We robbed from a
we
dragon.
do have a lot of gold. We probably could share it with the people in Shantytown.
It's probably not a good idea.
That's a good
No,
way to bring
but
attention
no.
to yourself.
We can use
Or
some
a
of it
riot.
to get information. We buy people drinks, we
Okay.
carry on.
Pity we got rid of
I
most of the
suggest
stuff.
if we are going to spend, we spend less. Shantytown generally leads to desperate people. Desperate people lead to people willing to do anything.
Okay.
But we also see if there are people in charge.
There probably will be.
We can probably ask the right sort of questions.
In preparation for going into this town, I'm gonna keep my cloak up and covering as much of myself as possible. And just like tie a rope around my waist section, so I have like arm mobility from like the side of the cloak, but it's covering a lot of the elven eccentricities.
Yeah, yeah,
So you
yeah,
turn the cloak into kind of a bit of a robe.
Like a half robe, half poncho.
And Amber is wearing more clothes than she's worn in the entire time you guys have known her. She's wearing her traveling clothes.
Not that we would have noticed.
No, we noticed.
You would notice.
I'd notice the clothes now.
Yeah.
No, we wouldn't have noticed that you didn't have clothes on before. It was just bleed.
What? She braided her back
She's
hair and we
wearing,
thought
like-
it was a cardigan.
She's now wearing like a tunic
Pearl
and
one,
pants.
knit one.
Well, she was always wearing like braces with fluff and greaves with fur and boots, but like now she's also wearing a tunic and pants, and she's constantly annoying, like tugging at them, going, "Oh, this is so uncomfortable. How do you people live in these kind of? It's all up in my grill, and it's too tight around my boobs."
What's a grill? Why do you, as a person, have a grill?
You don't want grill. It is the two things you hate: killing animals
Oh.
and fire.
Oh no! I mean, we also
is.
use. Well, yes. We also use it in blacksmithing occasionally.
Right.
Oh, an owl!
Well, let's. Can we?
We enter the
Well, Peter.
shanty town.
Have you been to this city before? You are the closest we have to a local.
No, I was only sent to Montanoil. I was told the Black City would probably be too dangerous at this time.
Excuse, pardon, what's the word? Good evening, madame. Might you point me to an inn, a tavern, or a stable?
The only inn that's around at this particular place is the outer wall.
The what?
The outer wall.
Right.
Is
Thank you.
that the name of the establishment?
That
or
is
just-
the name of the establishment, yeah.
Okay, I thought maybe you were telling me to like huddle up against the wall or something.
It's outer wall, not huddle against the wall.
Oh, that exists too? I'm confused. Okay.
What is the direction of the outer wall?
Just keep travelling down the main road there. It's basically just, as you guys are...
On the left or on the right? On the right.
Sorry?
On the left or on the right?
Oh, you'll see it. It's basically as you are approaching the actual edge of the shantytown, and you've been having a discussion about what you want to do. You notice there's basically just one slightly winding road that heads directly to the gates themselves. So you start traveling through that area, and you're seeing a lot of the shanty sort of shacks that have been placed hastily. There's a lot of tents in the area as well. So there's a mixture of both tents and somewhat more permanent structures being put together. It looks basically like a whole heap of the maple logs have been put together, but not really sort of shaven too well. It's almost like partially like they've kind of grown out of the ground, except they've been lopped off at the top as well to make sort of the framework of most of the buildings, and really hastily put together sort of plasterwork and the daub and all that type of stuff to sort of make these buildings. And there's a whole heap of them in the area. There's no law to how they put this together, so everything's sort of like just out of place and whatnot. The only thing that sort of makes any sense is this central road that heads towards the main entrance of the gates of the city. You travel through for probably about 20 minutes or something like that through the actual shantytown itself, and you can definitely see ahead of you a large, sprawling building, not high, it's only like 2 stories high at most, but you can definitely hear the noise coming from it, and the place is well lit up compared to a lot of the other places. Like most of the buildings here are lit up with a few torches here and there, but they're not brightly lit, where this place is obviously noise coming through, you can hear music coming from it, a lot of activity, a lot of noise, and a lot of light.
Is the storm starting to come in?
Yeah.
Is it rain?
Yeah, it's raining.
A little bit, but
Yeah, it's a little bit of rain coming in.
Are there any signs of Thieves Guild sort of thing on the pub? Like, this is a protected building, don't rob it?
Nope, you don't see anything like that.
rob away.
Hey, Mia, I think many of these people are sleeping within the gate.
I walk inside.
I follow.
Too much.
It is a very intense lifestyle.
Wow.
Alright, we're
Wow.
done. We're done.
Really? Wow.
Cut it! No!
Sorry everyone,
Don't roll that
bad
kind of-
puns, his stream's now over.
Look, you just need to relax.
Here
You're
comes
too
another
tense.
one. Here comes another one. This is horrible now.
If I throw something, can I go, yurt?
Yeah.
Maybe you should canvas the area.
I'm just gonna put Mick on mute. No, I can't, but I'd love to.
Oh wait, which one's me?
Oh, it doesn't help. The rest of them pick him up.
Damn
anyway.
it.
Yeah, on mine too, especially.
Right,
There is a way to mute it.
I will follow Rowan
Suck
I
it.
will
Yes.
follow Rowan inside.
Sorry, what are you doing?
Follow Rowan
Yes.
inside the tab.
I'll follow Rowan.
I
inside.
walked away from the puns and was like, no, you're going in.
Alright, so you guys head into the
I don't
actual
get
town
it.
itself.
Heading in as well, trying to get warm.
It's a
Trying
human
to get
joke.
warm? Yep, you head in.
What?
It's a human joke.
A human, but you're not. Neither.
It is like it is like religion. If you examine it too closely, it all falls apart.
Oh, is that what I'm having trouble with? So I should be looking at religion from a no, I'm still confused.
No. Just
Not examine, just have faith.
just believe.
But I don't know what to have faith in.
Yourself.
Whatever.
Me?
Yes.
There is the
I'm
two
confused.
forms of faith, from inside or from outside.
I'm lost again.
Can we take this conversation inside because it is pissing down out here?
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Oh yeah, my hair! Oh no! Run inside.
She's just do it yet. Ooh, music.
Instant pen, yeah? Instant pen.
Yeah.
Or take the braid out
Just
and
like this.
have the craziest afro.
No, she already had wild curly hair. Like, she's braided it to tame it.
Why the heck? I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
It's a bit
This is
much.
getting too long for me as well.
Behave.
It's your winter cut.
Yeah, it is.
Alright.
I'm gonna see if there's a table over here like
You
this.
see what the inner of the outer wall is like.
The inner of the outer wall is like. You're basically heading into the tavern, and it is a huge building with a lot of pillars made out of the maple trees, and it's not really well put together, so they're really rough cut and really rough drawn. In fact, you probably even notice that there's a odd knot here and there of a branch that's been hastily cut off to sort of make the supports for the building itself. And there's quite several of these going throughout the whole building. They have no restrictions on how wide they can go, so it's easy to build out as opposed to build up because there's no one restricting them in the shantytown itself. So this place is huge in comparison to most of the other buildings in the area. But it's also badly put together with no planning whatsoever, and you see there's little nooks and crannies of parts of the building off the back of the tavern that people are sitting down at. The place is very large. There are a lot of people here, but there's also quite a lot of room as well. They're not being overly loud, and you can hear in the background some music being played type thing in the corner. A lot of people just having general discussions and all that type of stuff.
I step around the leaky drips from the ceiling and head to the bar.
Yep, there's definitely drips of water coming through parts of the
Really?
ceiling.
Gold piece bet on the darts game?
Not at the moment. Maybe later.
What does the crowd look like in terms of clientele?
There is a mixture of
Poor and scum.
poor and scum. Yeah.
Maybe some villain mixed in.
Some use mud as makeup, others use it as clothing.
He's a druid. He should be used to using mud as clothing.
Rowan actually looks surprisingly clean right now.
cleaned
He prefers
up.
the term earthen tuxedo.
We actually do look a bit conspicuous. I would like to get the
Yeah, you guys, as soon as you're entering the tavern, there's a lot, not in the whole tavern, but probably in the immediate area of the tavern, kind of like a bit of a hush that goes over the crowd as you enter in the tavern. Because you guys stick out like a sore thumb, realistically. There is mostly humans here from what you can see. Dirty tunics, unshaven beards, people who are on the last stretches of their lives here type thing, scrounging together whatever they possibly can.
I fit in quite nicely
I was
then.
gonna say, do you know what the worst thing you could do? Do that change self and appear as a Breton again.
Oh, he also has a beard
Yes, I have a glorious
yes.
beard.
from the belt.
Also, we now have two horses as opposed to an ox.
No,
Okay.
at the back, trying to fit the caravan
I'm
into the
that-
stable.
Okay, then I'll change.
To be
I
fair,
downloaded some
Amber looks like a very
3D printing
classical
files for wagon
dwarven warrior
and
right
ox.
now.
When
So I'll
you
get some horses with instead.
when you start taking the horses and your carriage
I
around to
have
the
the
side, we'll say, you do notice that there is pretty much very few other horses in the area.
Yeah, people can't afford them. Amber, watch the horses for a moment. Or perhaps...
The horses wouldn't be inside.
No, she's inside. I'm outside with the horses.
Oh,
I'm inside. I ran inside with
Alright,
my hair.
in that case, I probably haven't even thought about it. So our horse is going to get stolen.
Yeah,
They won't get
Those
stolen.
horses.
They'll just get turned into meat.
that's
Glue.
worse.
You come back and they're up on cinder blocks.
Their legs have been removed.
That's awful! I'm gonna throw something at you.
And there's a shopping trip. No.
That's terrible.
That's how you do the lava
Yeah,
version of horses.
it's terrible when animals get hurt.
That's a
I forgot all about the part of the dolphins in the description.
You also missed out on the most important part of our thing.
Where we got our
The
nicknames.
arena,
Yeah.
stabbing a fire hydra in the butt.
No, yeah.
The arena wasn't really that important, but
It was,
it was
to
a lot of
us.
fun.
It was iconic to us.
It's
Well,
where
it's
my
iconic, but
It
not
is where the
necessarily.
Scourge of Aris was born.
as well as Rowan's Fear of Fire.
I approached the bar.
Yep.
Hello.
It was Amir
Yeah,
that tripped and fell into the arena, wasn't it?
Yep.
No, I jumped.
No, you couldn't jump.
How are you, my
you
friend?
fell in.
I'm alright. Give me a tick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. 7 beers.
7 beers. Right, I can do that for you. 7 beers.
No, how much? Sorry.
2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14. 14 copper a piece.
Sure. Slide it across.
Yep.
By the way, do you have rooms to stay?
No.
Where does?
Just to ask one of the many houses in the area, and you pay them enough gold, and they'll probably vacate for a day or two if you require it.
Eh?
There. Okay. No, that's fine. Thank you.
There's no one who has an inn here per se, and
So that's how you get houses. You just pay people to leave. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much, Rowan. Sorry, he's
I can organize
he's from the forest.
that is right. It's the forest. That's a bit of a distance away.
Yes. Well, not the closest one. Further
Oh,
still.
a different forest. Oh, okay.
There's lots of forest out there.
Well, I see that you I must say that you look like you're out of towners.
Yes, unfortunately. I was hoping.
Well, welcome to my humble establishment. I call it the outer wall because well,
You're out of the
we're out of the wall. Yes. It was fitting. It was the name of everything always becomes fitting according to the situation you find yourself in. Yeah.
It is a very funny name.
It
Very
is.
clever.
Thank you. Is there anything I can help you with while else you're here? You've got yourself an ales. One of the other people sort of just starts putting together your list of ales for those who want it type thing.
I was gonna say, I'm not with the group, I'm over by the fire.
I'm gonna join
I'm
Imperius.
also wanting to know who's in the know.
And when do the gates open?
Roland, please.
Oh?
Just for a
The
moment.
gates open almost every day, but not everyone is able to actually get in. They are usually well guarded, and they only let those who have a permit to enter.
Where do you get the permit?
It's not so much that you get a permit, it's not a bit of paper or anything like that, because most people can't read. It is more of
You pay them some coin.
yeah.
Alright. Figures.
After that, once they've seen your face often enough, they usually don't bother you too much.
So do you know anyone in this area who's in the know? Might be able to give us some information on what's in the town?
It depends on
Are
what
you throwing up
information-
gang signs while you're doing that?
Yeah, just subtle ones.
Like in the know.
Like tap side of the nose,
doesn't-
wipe it down my face like this.
Yeah. It's like, it doesn't seem to pick up on your cues.
Okay.
It is depending on what information you're looking for that I can possibly give you. What do you want? What are you looking for? Obviously, you want to get into the city itself. But
We will head in tomorrow. I'm sure we can get in, but
We're looking to set up perhaps trade.
trade in town. Well, you'll probably be best to head into the city tomorrow morning and get your trade. However you decide you want to trade, and go from there.
Are there any merchants here now, or were they all smart enough to arrive before dark?
Most of them are smart enough to arrive before dark. If they have not entered into the city itself as merchants, then they are probably here.
a dwarf also needs alchemist supplies.
I do not know of any alchemists in this particular part of the world.
No
is in the
worries.
shantytown. Perhaps there are some inside the city itself, but I do not know. I have been here for quite some time myself outside.
Do you know of any reliable people that could be hired as guards?
Reliable people as guards? Ooh, I'm asking a very harsh question there. Well,
Essentially ones that when we pay them they stay bought.
the only ones that exist are the ones that are here. At least at this particular place. And they've already been purchased.
Right. Alright, well, thank you. And I slide him 10 gold pieces across the counter. You've been very
It's like,
helpful.
as you do that, you like slide the 10 gold pieces and just like lift up your hand. And so like, he's like,
But I've done it in a way that I've actually slid them over the bar and dropped them over the side
and he
into
like,
his hand.
he attempts to sort of really hastily sort of like hide that as much as he can. And just like puts it straight underneath the bar.
Basically. Because
looks at his actual 2 other barkeeps with him. Alright.
thank you, friend.
We perhaps might have further questions later. It's good to make friends.
Then
in the town.
I will do what I can to help you out.
Appreciate it.
I'm gonna be over at the fire with Imperius.
Yep.
Imperius, could you? What's that thing you do?
Hello!
Oh,
Speak up, lassie!
Pencil, please.
sorry, Pops.
Yes!
You cast that spell that makes water go away, right?
Yeah, what?
Prestidigitation.
Oh, prestidigitation! Yes,
Right,
dearie,
right.
I can cast that.
Can you clean my hair, please?
Oh, of course, it's a
I
simple
mean,
matter of... Bear!
Oh, good. Oh, that's. Oh, no, the tendrils are coming out. Fix that. Yep. Gotta keep this look. Yep, going.
Never
Also-
mess with the sisters' leave.
What?
Also, this is highly disconcerting. Maybe I'll save the conversation I was gonna have with you another time.
I'm so confused.
Okay.
What is he doing?
Pretending to be an old
You mean that old man that does not look like Imperius?
He's very loud.
Also, Amber
so
will keep
random.
talking to you, just not about the serious topic he was going to.
Oh, did you disguise self or something?
No, I'm dressed up in more basic clothing rather than my scholar robes.
No,
and
I assumed
I have
you
a
were
beard,
going-
and it's been kind of very badly coloured,
we
and
could antique
put
you.
mud all over me and everything.
It's
I look like an old guy who,
Bit of a hobo.
yeah.
That was accidental.
Phelan, who just shoot?
God damn it, not again! Starts unloading his pistol.
The whole bar just.
Just like rubbing fingerprints off it.
This is where the chef's dead.
I know
again.
It's not my fault this time.
It's like, oh my god, what's a pistol? I can't the taverns.
Actually, Amelia's got a pistol.
Reason why that actually happens because this is the tavern ambience from Sirenscape, right? And because this particular NPC who's playing the bartender who you're talking to is one of the NPCs that was passed on to me from the various Facebook pages, I've stuck with that particular character. However, I was going to use most of the audio clips that they have for this, so something like,
"Oh, there's room for all of you. Have a seat."
Is this the Wild West pack?
no, it's just a tavern.
Wow, I like it.
We got the finest rooms upstairs.
Do you though?
Yeah. They're the
lied.
finest rooms in this
We
slum.
got plenty.
It just doesn't have enough animal.
He just hasn't built them yet.
That's just a couple copper. Anything extra is appreciated, of course. My slush fund.
See,
It's brilliant. I love it.
see, here's the thing, Antoine.
Can you add WAV files?
I don't
Possibly.
know.
I could probably grow us somewhere better to stay than here, but it would be a bit conspicuous.
What do you take me for? Some sort of ogre?
Now you're a human. You don't live long at all.
I'm gonna just glance around the tavern and look for particularly interesting people.
Okay, you have a bit of a glance around the tavern.
Are there any dwarves pretending to be tables?
I don't know. Do we need a table? I'm currently near the fire.
That's fine.
Definitely one person who definitely doesn't quite fit in with the rest of the humans in the area is you see a
So that's me.
female tiefling off in one of the corners of the tavern itself.
Tiefling.
Like my first character.
What, dead?
I brought it on myself.
You always put it on all of us.
You also see another hill dwarf in another corner of the room of the tavern itself. These are probably the standoutish sort of races in the place that you're seeing amongst most of the humans and half elves.
Half elves, okay.
Yeah, there seems to be elves and half elves seem to be mostly half
Yes.
elves from what you can gather.
Me? Elves can be pulled too.
Yeah, I know. I don't have a. What am I saying? I have loads of money.
Do we?
Well, you lived a fiscally poor life, but you had other benefits.
Yeah, I didn't need money, but now it seems I need money. But I have money, so that's good.
Why don't you say it a bit louder so the whole tavern can hear you?
I don't know.
He's got 2 coppers to rub together.
Yes.
That's more than what he had when we met him.
Me? Then he had 2 sticks to rub together to make a fire. That he doesn't like.
I didn't need to do that.
What?
But you're the only one amongst us who knew how.
It's a lie. My survival is quite good.
Ah,
That's fair.
And you only didn't need to rub 6 together.
Because
he
he was
just needed
fine.
to sneeze.
Amber just shivered her way through the night.
We're good.
Pierce is gonna use message to talk to him. Is there something you needed?
It's okay. You can wait for later.
We could go somewhere less crowded.
Just need a table.
It's fine. Remind me later.
Amir, ask the tavern keeper how much it is to hire the whole inn.
That's probably not a good idea. We do that and we kick out all of these people, and then what happens?
Do we have
Pretty
a nice
obvious.
big building to ourselves?
Yeah, and it's obvious that we have a ton of money.
It's also obvious that the tavern keeper, who is not in the tavern anymore, also has a stack of money.
He already knows that we have self-sustainable money.
I must. We don't look like the rest of the scum in here.
Speak for yourself.
He is the scum in here.
No, he's the villainy in here, not the scum.
Oh, it's that kind of tavern. Okay.
He shot first. Yes, villain shot first.
Thanks, so excited. Thanks for your subscription, mate.
Okay.
So yeah, let's get a table and
Just gather around.
I kind of assumed you guys were sort
Yeah.
of rough about the table. Some of you will approach the bar to sort of order drinks and whatnot, so you guys sit down at your table, and then not long after, a few minutes after that, then all of your tankards that he's already purchased basically come over for you.
So,
It's a human-sized bar, yeah?
Yeah.
So I'm like, hello! Hello, can I get served, please?
I've already.
you just like
got you
hold a
something.
gold coin up,
Maybe a
No.
silver.
and in the other hand is a sign saying, "We'll give gold for beer."
I mean, you could just come to me for beer, realistically.
are we really gonna do what the tavern keeper said? Apparently, you just.
Oh,
pay
thanks
people.
for the subscription, Horizon Thief. Thank you.
Apparently, you just pay people
And
to leave their houses.
That's easy
Texted.
enough to
Excited, essentially.
arrange.
Yeah, but
I'm dyslexic, okay? Leave me alone.
Why
I
not?
said thank you is excited as well.
But
Yes.
do not. You see, you can see that as a bad thing of you're kicking someone out of their home, but you're also giving them something that they would not have otherwise had.
It seems like
It's called
it's
trade.
actually relatively easy to enter the town anyway. The town will have proper accommodation for a price which these people obviously can't afford.
But not tonight, though.
Well,
So we just need to rough it
do
one
we
more night.
need to sleep the night? We can take one night rough.
We can
Sleep in the
sleep
stable at the
in the candy pill. That's it's.
There is no stable when you were putting it
That- that-
back.
that's
There
the
was no
point of it.
stable.
Also, we just parked it there.
You've just parked it on the side of the building.
You would have
Park
tied
on
it
back.
to a stump,
Yeah, pretty much.
and you're hoping to God that they're still there when you're back.
I mean, it.
I'm going outside to
And
check
not
on
up
the...
on stumps.
No!
I'm going outside to check on
No.
the stumps. What's this?
You mean the mobile
I'm
glue
sorry.
factory?
It can be
Throw
quite.
something
I
in.
thought that's what the ox was.
It
No,
can
a
be
bit of a
quite.
stew in a meat sack.
No, that was bouillon.
I was gonna say, did you not see the stew we were eating?
Well,
Nothing compares to the steward after the fall.
I mean, it's quite cramped if we all try and sleep in the candy pill, but we could do it to spare taking someone else's house.
I mean, these guys are all having this conversation while Imperius and I are having a very strange conversation at the fire. Him as an old man and me calling him Pops because I can't remember his name.
Consider this. We could, instead of imposing on someone in their house, we could give them the best evening they've had. We can provide quality food, we can provide...
That is an
Why?
idea.
And they would share their house with us.
And they're probably more likely to stay quiet.
Imperius is mostly just sitting around the fire to try and hear what the conversation is, see what the general mood of the shanty town is of the people here.
A lot of the conversations are about particular people sort of going, their plans about how to sort of earn some money here and there. You're noticing that most of the people here are not tradesmen. So obviously there's like a lot of labourers and secondary professions and so on and so forth, but there's no jobs. There is definitely prostitutes here as
No,
well.
just
Yeah.
said secondary profession.
So wait, we're in a scummy area in like the one kind of club pub thing. Does it have a revolving dance floor in the center?
It's like bright. One, it's got this light show going off, but one of them just like flickers.
No,
Is there a
does it
pole
have-
and
I
it
was-
has great athletics?
I was particularly talking about Frankston.
I know you were. The 20
Does
worst.
it have like a group of students in one corner fermenting rebellion and talking about barricades?
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah.
there's just like a donkey tied to
What sort of pub are you been to?
tied to a wheel, just walking in a circle. So there's big.
So it goes this big rotating circle. Yeah.
Right, well, what's our plan?
I think I'll try and find a house.
I think I agree.
Okay.
I'll be back soon.
I don't
I've
have.
actually had one of those.
I don't have much to do until the morning. I have things that I wanted to do in town, but you're probably a lot better at talking to people than me.
Once I find a place that we can use as shelter for the night, you can come in, and I'm sure your abilities will help make their time happier. If it is a family, you can entertain the children.
I can do that.
I'll head out with Emil.
Oh, Rayleigh's fake name is Sanchez.
No Sancho.
Oh, sorry, Sancho.
No, Sanchez.
No, Sancho makes more sense because
Sancho Sanchez.
it's referencing a particular movie that everyone who knows what the reference is knows exactly what
I
we're
don't
talking
get the reference.
That's why I was
Stunt
saying
blank.
it. Stunt blank.
Good heavens.
You don't see a problem
Kansas,
with
that's
this?
a pretty good name.
No, Arkansas, actually, that's a good name.
And
Arkansas.
Montana.
They call it Montana.
Who
I
is
was going to say it was the American in it, gotta say Montana.
Zombie
It's not
land.
Arkansas, it's Arkansas.
Oh,
Oh,
Arkansas.
Yes, but I actually like Arkansas.
No, it's Arkansas. A-R-K-A.
Yeah, that's how you spell Arkansas.
Is it?
I wouldn't know. I'm also dyslexic.
I'm confused.
Forgive me. This
Right,
might not read out
Rose Thief
loud.
obviously is American. Obviously, just laughing at us trying to pronounce American names.
No.
Oh, they
I
play-
Hey,
don't-
just-
no,
what's
but we do the
reference?
same.
Sancho.
We can do the same thing to them because of Melbourne.
Melbourne.
Oh, it's
Geelong.
Just say that you're from West Carolina and really confuse people.
No, East Carolina. Right up next to West Virginia. Yeah?
Alright, you're distracting yourselves, folks. So what are your plans for the evening?
I have no plans.
Go and look after the horses.
Yes, let's do that.
I'm gonna go have a look at the wall into town if I can.
You gotta stop reading the chat.
Yeah. I'm sorry, officer, I'm dyslexic. You ran a red light.
I mean, that would be colorblind.
That's the joke.
Alright, sorry, yes, we're getting distracted. What are you guys doing?
I'm gonna go check out the wall.
No,
Go have a bit of a
your
walk up to the
excuse is
wall.
you're going so
Say
fast
like
the
a
red light looks
15,
blue.
20-minute walk through the shantytown.
Yeah.
You start walking through the shantytown, heading up towards the wall.
Yeah.
As you get closer to the actual wall itself, and you're having an overlook at the place, you notice that the wall has got the very typical sort of bluestone sort of construction to it, except that it's charred black, as if a fire had ripped through here. And probably from what you're gathering, a really intense and quick fire to sort of do this particular type of scarring across the whole walls.
Giant fireball.
Is it like charring or is it like soot build-up?
Mixture of both. Like you could, over time, you can sort of like get your thumb on the wall and stuff like that, and rub at some of the blackness of on the bluestone itself. Some of it does come away as soot type thing, but most of it's just like this. It's like a seeped-in blackness of.
I grab my dagger and just sort of like gouge it a bit.
Yeah, you gouge it a little bit and whatnot, and you hear from above you, "Oh, you! Stop doing that!"
Vandal, Visigoth, other tribes.
Sorry, I meant no offense.
Gaul.
The Gaul.
The Gaul.
Yeah.
How far's the gate from where I am?
You're right next to it, realistically. Let's assume that, because I mentioned before, you probably didn't hear it, there's a slight
There's that dirt sort of
little bit
ramp
of
going
there's
up
dirt
to-
ramp and a bit of a cliff, so the wall's kind of like being built in this sort of cliff face. Some of it, from what you can gather, is naturally being made, so they've actually dug away at it to sort of.
Yeah.
Is there a moat?
No.
Okay.
Going up to the gate, how thick is the wall?
From what you can gather, there's at least 3 feet of thickness in the walls, from what you can see.
Not bad.
Probably more you can't quite see.
How many guards are at the gate?
Not much.
At the
near
gate
as you
itself, on the outside, none.
So just close the gate and go inside.
Pretty much. There is a good half a dozen guards up on top of the palisade itself.
Yep.
You notice that they've got the, I can't remember the name of it, but the wooden structure they have on the side of walls, which are used for archery.
Ramparts?
Ramparts, thank you, that's the word. Which are also look like they've been there for a while, and they're showing signs of rot, as well as the general blackness of the burning fire through the area.
Yeah.
But otherwise, they do seem serviceable, and there are guards up there with bows and so forth.
And they're all looking Mousillon colours. And
Yeah, definitely got the black and yellow and the Mousillon colours, yes.
I don't want to risk that disguise at the moment. I basically just turn around and walk.
Okay, you walk back. You walk back to the tavern. You guys are still in the tavern, just talking amongst yourself, discussing your plans. Sort of.
Me and Emil left.
Are
So
you
trying to
left?
find a house.
Okay. How do you want to go about it?
Shall we just door knock?
Well, first we should look to see which of the houses here look like they weren't going to fall over in this store.
Now that you've had a chance to sort of have a bit of a look around in this particular area that you are where the tavern is, you notice that they're kind of like a mini market area from what you can gather, but most of the shops are closed. But you do see a general store, and it's got a sign at the front that basically says the Golden Head, the Silver Tail. There's another one that's basically got that really simplistic sort of meat cleaver sort of look to it, and it's just a butcher. There's a smith, and he's called it the Iron Hand. This smith has kind of like a canvas around the outside. It's basically just a curtain that he's basically pulled around, essentially.
Is it run by Cam?
There is another place which is interesting because it has the Glenville Scales of Justice on the front. That is also closed.
We'll tell you about that.
It's called the Down and Out. You've seen this modification to this symbol. This is an Undertaker.
Euthanasia clinic.
Okay.
And of course, not too far from here, probably just an extra couple of houses down from the tavern, not directly in this area, is another sign that's got basically, that really sort of email letter sort of symbol, and it's made of red. Yeah. And it's got the words, of course, the red letter.
The letter.
It's in Comic Sans.
Envelope.
The square thing with the triangle.
The envelope.
The envelope, that's the one.
Yes.
Right, well,
Enveloping,
I would say the smith would be the best place to sleep if we could.
The one with the red envelope, the red letter, is, from what you can gather, as you're looking around the area,
Post office.
is open, but someone's coming in.
Okay. Did you say the general store was also open?
No.
Okay,
That's just like the sign on the front, that's
Yeah.
hanging from the front.
if it's open there, yeah.
So, Smith, General Store, Mortuary, Post Office?
Should we head to the post office and see if they've got a back storage room? It's probably the best bet.
Well, we can ask them what they know about the area anyway.
Alright, so just you two so far? Yeah. They're heading over to the red letter.
I assume that the two of us are just wandering around chatting while leading the horses going, what do we do with these?
Alright. So you guys head to the red letter, we'll just do that in a quick sec. Is anyone doing anything inside the tavern itself? Or are you just going to sit down for a little bit and just drink and
Drinking?
Just generally listening to the people around.
Yeah.
I predict there'll be a bar fight within the next 30 minutes.
The general conversation you're getting is, again, people just like coming up with their grand plans to sort of make money and so on and so forth. Or people say like, hey, there's this particular person, X, Y, or Z, who has a potential job going. You've heard this before. It's wishy-washy and half-assed.
So it seems like everyone here has come with it's kind of like the gold prospect, the intention to strike it rich, but they're stuck out in the shanty town.
The other parts of the conversation you also get is a lot of people sort of figuring out plans how to leave this place. As from what you guys have, compared to what everyone else has here, you guys have infinite wealth. You can do whatever you want. These people barely have coppers to their name, and they can't afford, from their conversations, they can't afford to pay someone to travel with them. They'd have to do it all by themselves. They don't even have enough money to put together to buy enough rations to get to the next city. And from what you can gather, they can't head south because they're still in the lands of Mousillon. They're like talking about wanting to leave this area entirely, which basically means they'd have to travel probably southwest sort of area, heading off towards the Imperial lands and potentially going through the Dwarven trade route, or heading east to northeast, heading off towards Dalriada, thank you.
Can we just confirm something whether Mousillon acts as a traditional feudal society?
Yes.
With peasantry, or do they allow like free men or free?
They do allow free men. There is a certain amount of
so not everyone is a peasant. So not everyone is kind of owned by a lord.
Correct.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Because otherwise that makes talk of leaving really,
treasonous.
really weird.
Yeah, there is a certain amount of feudalism within the areas that you've been travelling through and whatnot, but from the way that the city works itself, it's kind of a bit separate. So probably there's a little bit of the conversation in there too is about how to get past particular lords' countrysides and so on and so forth. It's just not to be sort of accosted by their local forces and stuff.
Yeah, and it's also fair that the people who are in a tavern at this time of the night would be the kinds to be planning an escape instead of just
pretty much.
the rabble who are asleep by now.
Yeah.
The punishment for vagrancy is recruitment into the army.
And then there are, of course, of conversations of a group of people here and there at some particular tables who actually seem to be doing well. They've got their most recent pay, whatever job that they're doing, and they're talking like in silver pieces, stuff like that, which to them is a lot of money, and at least offers them a good night of drinking and potentially even doing other stuff. You hear whispers of the red letter every once in a while, and as you two approach the red letter itself, you open up the door and you see a scene that's this big giant room with sectioned off areas, sectioned off just by curtains. Someone has done the best they can possibly do to dress this place up, but it is still a dingy shack made with half-cut wood, wood that hasn't been treated in any particular way.
Smoky fire in the middle.
Smoky fire in the middle
Smoky
type thing and
torches.
whatnot. And there's like about 3 or 4 girls in various state of not quite dressed.
Right. That's what this place is.
The Scarlet Letter.
The Scarlet.
Oh, Tim.
Red Light District.
You know what? Never mind.
How are you, gentlemen? Have you come in for the evening? Are you looking for a good night?
No,
Well-
I'm looking to sleep.
We're a bit tense.
Everyone who comes into this place looking for a bit of sleep. I am Sarasha, my friend. It's been a pleasure to make your acquaintance. As long as you've got the coin, I have got places for you to sleep.
That's fair. We've at least got a room for the night then.
A room is an expensive hobby, my friend. Do you want that home? For, with a woman or not a woman?
No. Just
I'm
the
for-
room.
I'll take one with the company, as long as she can hold a conversation.
And yodel.
And your lady too.
Well, it is 1 silver piece for one of the ladies for half an hour.
And a room for a night.
It is 1 silver piece with one of the ladies for half an hour.
Right,
Oh, good heavens.
so what? 10 silver
It's the
for
shisha
10. Right, so like if I wanted to say, alright, there's 7. It's about 70 silver for all of us to have rooms for the night. That's not too
There
bad.
does not appear to be enough rooms to cover that.
No.
How many rooms?
Guess people are getting cozy.
It's probably 4. Oh,
Okay.
probably there is 4.
Is it a busy night tonight?
It is up and down every night depending on what is the general populace want to do. Sometimes some people get a big payout for a job in the area. Other than that, no. It is quiet tonight.
You obviously have people already being enjoying the company of your establishment.
You can already hear that there's a bit of noise coming from one of the closed curtain sections off at the back of the
You
room.
know what? Actually, I think I just want some sleep. I'm not going to sleep with this racket.
That's fine. When your customers are
Pretty
done,
much.
please accept no new ones, and we will pay for the.
And then you were paying the 70 silver, the 7 gold pieces for the night.
Can out 10.
And then the room, the house of the red letter is for yours for the rest of the night.
The extra money is for quiet
That can be arranged.
tonight and after.
If you want any of the women, they are all yours for the evening, but if you are happy to have them move on for the evening, we can do that as well.
You do you. I just want to sleep.
We need one extra who is good. Do you have a woman that is good at makeup?
I don't have any dice in front of me. Why do I not have dice in front of me?
Yeah, I have a d20.
That's right.
It's yours. It's
I
not
know
mine.
it is. That's
The
right.
GM has no dice.
Oh, it rolled in that one. Maybe you don't want that one.
There is one lady who might be able to do some makeup for you, yes?
Please, if we can have her stay for at least an hour or two.
Alright.
I'm squinting and looking at the mirror, just quizzing.
We have a dwarf that needs to learn how to be pretty.
You probably immediately notice. Brandon,
Not wrong,
You
she's a
immediately
warrior,
notice that when you
not
ask
a-
that question,
It's,
you look at the
it's
makeup. that's-
congeniality.
Sorry. You look at the makeup that's being worn by the women who are here, and it's really sort of like that really garish over
Burlesque.
burlesque type sort of look, and not really well done.
I assumed it was going to be the mutton dressed as lamb.
Pretty much.
It's shotgun makeup.
Yeah. It's stage makeup. Thick, heavy, exaggerated.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll hand over the. I'll hand
over 10 gold
over.
pieces, yeah.
I'll hand over half the money now, and the rest is if we have an undisturbed night.
That I think is acceptable. Yes. And she goes to, as you hand over the first 5 gold and whatnot, she basically just hands a gold piece to each of the girls that are there, and then pockets the rest herself. And she just whispers to them that you can stay here if you want, and if they want you, then you do. But otherwise, it might be a free gold piece for the night if you're quiet. And she kind of says that to the rest of the girls, like 3 other girls. Yeah. And she basically goes and sits down at like a little armoire, or however you pronounce it.
Armoire.
An armory.
An armory, yeah.
That'd be me if I tried to say it after reading it.
No, that'd be you if you tried to be it.
Not wrong. Wait, she doesn't wear any armor. Barely wears clothes.
Alright.
Ironically,
Otherwise,
armory
you guys
generally
have
contains weapons.
the red letter for the night at least.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll head back and explain that we've got the best accommodation.
The shithole would provide.
Did that accommodation have stables? Because I feel bad for the horses being in the rain.
It's a whorehouse. I'm sure we can bring a horse in.
A what house?
Whorehouse, not horse house.
I don't think I ever learned that word in common. Could you say that again?
I'll say the word in Elven.
The horse can sleep on the floor. Just like...
It could give you an education that Magnolia never could.
It's a respected profession amongst the humans.
Okay.
Alright, so for the purposes of...
Please, someone hire him, a woman.
Be the weirdest shit they've seen in these
Please.
parts, would it?
I would never do that. It'd be a minimum order of 2.
Alright, so you guys having your drinks for the night. Amir comes back and describes the situation to you that you have at least a place to stay for the night until tomorrow. So you all head back to, after you've had a few drinks and had a bit of discussion, listen to a bit of the conversations going on, head back to the Red Letter itself, and you enter into the tavern. Into the Red Letter.
I will
I've
bring in
decided
the
on a particular set of music for the atmosphere of the Red Letter itself.
Alright.
Freshen your drink, love!
Wait, so I walk in with a horse.
You walk to the whorehouse
Just
with a
one.
horse.
I mean, I assume
This is the best startup line for a joke ever.
You walk in. You
horse
walk
walks into the brothel.
An elf walks into a whorehouse with a horse.
No,
You
with
walk
a
you
jackrabbit
walk
and a
in-
No,
coat.
it gets better. Aren't you a wood elf?
yes.
Okay, so you walk into the Red Letter with the horse in tow, I assume.
Yes.
And you're basically having a little bit of a struggle trying to fit through the door, but you can get it through eventually. There's like the woman. Sorry, the woman that you've been talking to and discussing the deal is just like
The madam.
the madam, and she's like, whatever. There's like one of the girls like, another one's like,
The important question, are you walking in there leading your hoe in or leading your hay in?
I'm leading hay in.
Okay.
Oh, you have hoe.
I have
Yes.
So you're taking hoe into the whorehouse.
I find the nearest bed, take one look at it,
The horse's name's
and
not Haito.
sleep on the floor.
We don't want another crabs incident.
Yeah.
Anyone taking any of the beds in the back rooms?
Or Constitution.
I will just.
Yes, after casting prestidigitation several times.
You like pull back the bed sheet and you just like.
Can you do that to this bit as well?
I get rid of any living problems, and then any dry problems, then any wet problems.
Okay.
And then any dead problems.
Yeah.
Then any soil.
And then I make it smell like roses.
It's your go-to. That's your go-to.
She's probably, well, the person who owns this place is probably loving you right now.
Well, other than the fact that we brought a horse in to shit over the floor.
No,
We can clean that up. I mean, it's the least of
mind
her
Hay.
problems.
I just didn't want him to have to sleep outside in the rain.
You have paid for the night for the room. You have paid the generous sum. It is your place to do. Just do another reckoning, please.
I'll clean up after him. He'll probably just curl up and sleep.
You probably noticed that the floor itself, because there's no flooring of any particular type, no wood slats or anything like that. It is just rugs on dirt and grass.
Okay, I will remove whatever rug is in the half a room I have with the.
Think she should end.
Yeah.
Literally.
Is it solid walls or like canvas?
Mostly solid walls. It's just the canvas of the back rooms themselves.
Basically,
Basically,
exterior solid.
It's like really just a big sort of open room, and all they've done to create those bedrooms essentially is just put canvas.
Yes. I was wondering whether we can get the caterpillar in.
Nah, no, definitely not.
Okay.
Are you fine?
We can take turns guarding the candy bar.
That's a good point, actually. Yes.
Yeah,
So you can
take
probably
watch.
trance and.
Oh, Amber's not wise enough to have suggested that. That's sorry.
Amber.
What?
have
Oh,
you-
I'm not there. I'm with the Imperius still.
Oh, I thought we collected everyone from the.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
did
I'm
we?
kind of fast forwarding unless you really got something you want to do.
Guess we're coming along.
All right. I guess we're arriving last then.
Oh, Amber. Have you met Candy?
Who? What?
Candy.
Oh,
Amber
Well,
was
I have
perhaps needing
now-
some help with makeup and hairstyling.
What? No, my hairstyle's perfect. Rowan already helped me with it. My beard's fine, and I don't wear makeup.
That's alright, love. I'll help you out.
No, thank you. I'm right.
You're looking lovely, Shorty, love.
Would you like some tea or a lozenge? Your throat sounds very.
What are you talking about? This is my normal voice.
What? She's sounding hoarse.
I think he was trying to
Someone
avoid
just
it.
joined our channel, says, "Hey, what's this channel all about?" And you make a bad pun.
Hey, I'm living up to our reputation.
I mean, they have walked in just as we are spending the night in a whorehouse. So, I mean, it doesn't get much better.
With two
With two horses.
And a love who wants to put on some makeup for you.
I'll pass. How about that guy? You can help him.
Oh, he looks, he's a strapping lad. That one, I don't think he needs any makeup.
I'm sorry, are you insulting me?
No.
Suddenly the dwarf is like puffing out, all the muscles are like bulging.
Fucking need to make a
Sorry, Amber. Sorry, my lady. What was your name?
Millie. Good heavens.
Did you hear he called me Candy?
Right, here's 2 gold
You paid
pieces.
10 1 gold. I don't give a shit what you call me.
Here's 2 gold pieces to please just go. Just go, please.
Oh, thank you, love.
They're just like.
Bye, bitches.
Looks at.
And then the madam comes in back door and says,
You know what? I've never had to have sex with another gentleman. They just push me off and throw me money.
She's going to do great things to stimulate the economy.
Amir, what is this place you found for us to stay in?
As he said, the best accommodation in the shithole.
Oh no, that's
It is
fine.
an
I'm.
entertainment parlor.
This is not Amir. This is Punion.
Oh,
Yes, that is your name now.
I'm not good at remembering names. Sorry.
Alright.
It's okay, Ethel.
Just say friend.
Hey, that's not my name.
Just say friend.
Friend. Ah, you're all friends except him. He's Pops.
It's Pops and Friends.
Hello, puppet.
Yes. I'm just gonna park the 2 horses in a corner and just sleep. Or
Yeah,
trance.
I'm gonna
You
go
can
bed
be
too.
a half-elf friend, halfling friend, What elf friend?
Right, just
Human friend.
Amber, do I have to pay you to shut up too?
I mean, you can if you like, but you can just ask.
Please.
Feel like
I'll take money if you want, but I
like
don't really have a use
would
for it.
just be way too uncomfortable in the whorehouse and would sleep in the
Amber
cart.
volunteers very happily for watch and also to sleep outside.
There's only so much room you got in that car because it's full of a lot of stuff.
I didn't say in the cart, I said outside.
Yeah.
She's not really phased by the cart.
Alright.
Imperius would sleep on the chest if he needs to, just to not be
So
in
we
there.
cycle through people outside or
Up to you guys.
and then the rest will be sleeping in the. Presumably, it's fairly dry.
It is fairly dry.
Yeah.
There is.
If there's-
You are because it is raining outside as we did notice before.
If there's a leaking roof, we might get like Mr. Mending over there to.
Yeah, you can basically mean something. As the rain's coming in, you notice like there's dripping coming here every once in a while. There's like a bucket or two in some places. Otherwise, there's like pools of mud sort of appearing at other particular points, and you're like mend,
I'm in the car.
mend.
See, we're a patron of the arts.
Yeah,
We've been patronising for ages.
I'm outside digging a channel, I think, with my shovel.
Like just around the doorway.
Yeah, to make
So
the water
it's
go
literally the shisha den.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't we need like half the back of it to end up in the front of it?
No,
Hey.
That was
end
great.
up on top of the Gatling gun, you mean?
Your protective
I still
skill.
wish we videoed that.
Anyway,
Damage the frame.
the actual
kind of
music's actually from Sirenscape. It's their music that they've put together. Yeah, so they've
I'll
got
find
like
the
a,
link.
it's a smooth jazz thing. Sirenscape. You just Google that, you can find it.
I mean, I was just going to be convenience.
But yeah, it's really good. I really like it. But I should actually be more in character when it comes to the
right,
Gets the vibe across pretty well.
It does.
let's sleep here quickly and get out of the place before dawn.
I do want to have a bit of a chat with the madam though. If she's still around.
Yep, she's still there. It's her establishment, so she'll still stick around to sort of just make sure everything's going smoothly.
Can I help you? We are new to this area, and I'm sure in your line of work you'd want to know the goings on of the local area.
Do not mind my saxophonist over there. Just like. What would you like to know about anything specific, or?
Is it difficult to get into the?
It is not
Into the
difficult
town?
if you have the right amount of money. A lot of the people here have attempted to leave the city of Mousillon itself and wound up as far as here. To get out of the walls of the city for a lot of people is a good thing, I guess. But there is not much prospect here. And perhaps a few jobs here and there that they manage to get their hands on, which I do not need to know about or do not want to know about. So if the money comes through and pays for the ladies here, we are all good.
Are there particular people that it is good to speak to make sure that we get through?
You could just pay enough money to the guards in town.
Any of them would be good.
Any of them, I believe, would be good. Perhaps there may be others that you want to talk to in town. There
Are
is a
there
few
important people that would be good to converse with?
Only if someone has unfortunately died.
So there is the only people there are those who handle death.
It is more of a case of the particular gentleman in town who looks after the bodies of the dead is often going to and fro. Some of the dead manage to sort of make it. It's one of those things that exist in saying from the people who live here that one of the easiest ways out of the city of the Black City itself is in a casket.
It wouldn't be the first time.
Sad.
Is there a good accommodation that you know of inside the town?
There is very good accommodation. One of the places you may want to have a look at, depending on where you want to go. Did you see the bright light?
We saw a flash of something, yes.
It is the location of. How can I put it? There is a whole heap of different clerics from different faiths in that part of the world, and they are doing the best that they can in a bad situation and making some people's lives a bit better than normal. They are a bastion in the dark, I guess. And they do have a place there for people to stay. They call it the Sundowner Inn. And if that is a place you want to go. Otherwise, the other places to go might be, perhaps if you're rich enough, you could go and buy your way yourself into the Lord's District and buy yourself a mansion or something in that area if you're looking for that type of thing. Otherwise, the other places you could potentially go is the Black Rook, a tavern inside the Merchant District. It might be a place to go.
Is that catering for merchants or a bit of everybody?
Bit of everybody. It is one of the last taverns that exist and still going. Quite a large one.
Thank you for your insight.
It is a pleasure. I will give you what information that I know of. Anything else? Anyone else want to ask questions or do anything else?
I just realized something. In my mental image of like being in this place, I was imagining like the horses on the floor and me just curled up lying on one of them. But then I realized horses sleep standing up.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna like just trance on the floor between the two horses.
Okay, sure.
Hope you don't get trod on.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Alright. So other than you guys sort of either sleeping outside in the caravan or sleeping on the streets or so on and so forth, it's not that bad. It is raining outside, just so you're aware. So if you are sleeping out in the streets, you will get wet and you will get cold. Alice is not paying attention.
Cold, wet.
Cold, wet, outside.
Bad.
She would be finding some sort of shelter. She's trying to protect her hair. It's
Well, it's
waxed.
either you go
Yeah,
inside or
you
out.
go
To be fair, the wax would be relatively
Get in the
water-resistant.
cart, you silly fool. You're gonna get cold.
I don't get cold. Oh, you mean right, sick. Oh, okay.
Yeah, see, she's...
Also, I make sure I have like a curtained off area for myself.
Yep.
And I read from a book before I go to bed.
Yep, I know the book. And on that night, everyone, as they sleep the night inside the brothel, the Red Letter, where we're going to have a break.
Before we go to the next morning, while Imperius and Amber are in the cart, she would like to have a conversation with him. We can do that when we get back.
Yeah, when you get back. Cool.
Just thought I'd let you know.
Alright, we'll be back in about 15-20 minutes. We'll try and make it as quickly as we can because
I'd
everyone was
like
late.
some food.
Yeah, some people haven't even eaten yet, so... Alright, we'll be back and we'll continue on with this little interesting conversation. Welcome back, everyone. And I'm actually going to stop playing the jazz music now.
Oh yeah, it's been playing in the background the whole time.
Yeah, it's nice. I like it a lot.
I like it a lot too, but...
So I just want to take this moment to remind everyone that on the 31st of August, I'm going to be running a Feng Shui game.
That's right,
Set in a retirement home.
Yes.
It's going to be lots of fun.
I'm really hoping I have the day
That's
off
why I'm
so
practicing
I can
my
join.
old man voice.
There's several old men you can choose from.
Now the question is, do I be an old man
That's a
or
different
an
kind
old
of
woman?
whorehouse.
I deliberately made everyone except the kid has a defined gender because I don't want it to be.
Oh, I could definitely easily play the kid. I could definitely easily do a kid's voice.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez, Mr. Jenkins.
Hey, Granny, can we go play a game now?
Roll the dice, indeed.
Also, it's obvious that character's gonna be a scrappy kid. Scrappy kids are not weaker than the adults. They are terrifying.
Although I have no idea anything about the game other than the characters, so it should be
We're
interesting.
going to be learning. It's going to be brilliant. I have
Trial
one
by
A4
fire.
page which has the entire game on it.
Trial by fire.
But yes, we are chilling in the whorehouse.
You guys wake up in the morning after
No.
you spent the night in the...
Conversation.
your conversation. Let's go for it. Alright, hang on. What's your conversation about?
I think we're about to find out.
Is it?
Oh, what style
serious?
of background music do you want? I think
That's exactly
yes.
Tinks.
Cart music, maybe some ambient rain sounds.
I can do that.
Glorious thunder and lightning.
Very,
Oh,
very
you got
frightening.
Manowar.
So Queen then.
We all have crabs apparently.
Thunderbolts and lightning,
Galileo.
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 Galileo figured out.
No more.
Okay.
Yeah, too many lines and then we get copyrighted.
I mean, I sang all the words wrong, so.
It looks like two penguins.
I mean, it does, yeah.
It's probably intentional.
It was a dark and stormy night.
I mean, it
Half an hour
was.
wasn't.
So Imperious.
Yes.
You said before that I should have faith in myself. What did you mean by that?
Well, I mean, everyone should have faith in themselves. It's bad to look down upon yourself. How can you accomplish anything if you have no faith in yourself?
I hadn't thought of it like that. I don't really think. I mean, I just know I can do the things that I can do. I don't. Is that different to having faith?
No, not exactly. What I mean is, sometimes it's not best to put faith in others. It's good to have faith in yourself, to know what you can accomplish.
Well, I'm still trying to figure all this, religion thing out. It feels kind of hopeless, to be honest. I don't understand it.
Well, my dear, I'm probably not the best person to speak to, as I have not lost faith, but when I needed my faith the most, it did not come to me, so I have learned to put faith in myself and my own abilities, and trust those around me rather than those above, so to speak.
Oh, I see. But I used to live life like that quite thoroughly, Believe in the skills of your hands. But then everything changed, and I don't understand. I want to understand, and I don't know how to find answers to my questions. And I don't know. I have people saying I should do this or that or this and follow this person, and it just nothing feels right.
Perhaps you're asking the wrong questions, or asking in the wrong way. When we entered the city, there was a place that we overheard being spoken about that a lot of people of faith go to. Maybe, perhaps we should go there. Maybe you can find some of the answers you're looking for there.
Maybe.
Or at least someone better equipped to guide you down the right path.
Maybe. Maybe you're right. I think you're right. Yes, let's do that. That's a good idea. That's a good plan. We'll do that. I will do that. In the meantime, I will just go to sleep confused. Well, anyway,
Sounds like a plan.
well, what's that contraption thing you're working on?
Which one? Mostly just blueprints.
That one there, but whatever it is, the recent thing you've been tinkering.
Oh, well, this one, the plan is, this is more for Rayleigh. I think he would like it quite a lot. It is a wrist-mounted blade, but it uses some of Valen's gunpowder to explode the blade out. It should be quite deadly.
Aren't you worried you'd shoot yourself?
No, you have to actually... You aim and then fire.
Oh, so it's like a crossbow,
Kind of.
but with explosions and daggers.
Yes.
I
That
like
is the best way to describe it, yes.
That's fascinating. Ooh, I wonder.
The only thing that really brought up, which I hadn't really thought about, is the stealth aspect to it. It kind of eliminates that.
Well, I was thinking maybe I might be able to find an alchemical solution to that. You know, a reaction like that causes it to burst out. Maybe
Oh, yes.
a chemical reaction.
Something
you
a
know?
bit quieter would be nice.
Yes, maybe something that causes bubbles to create pressure or heat or something. It might be something.
We shall work
When we
on
get
this,
in the
yes.
Black City, yes,
Yes.
we'll find an alchemist. There should be a representative of the guild here, so I definitely have to visit them. I'm a little bit overdue paying my dues. But, you know, we'll yes.
To the
Good
city
plans,
then.
yes, of course. And then she goes back to muttering and then drawing ideas and things in her book.
For the wrist-mounted explosive.
It's a
blade,
ballistic knife. Let's
yeah.
just call it what it is.
explosive knife, have a small vial of a potion of silence as your silencer. So as it fires, it cracks open the vial, and you just can't hear anything.
It's an
I
idea.
mean, that works.
That's an idea.
The ultimate silencer, not a suppressor. No, it eliminates sound waves.
We'll talk about, like, logistics of that another time.
Yeah. Okay, so if I am not mistaken, both you and you are out in the caravan. It's probably about
We're
as
in the
much
car,
room
yeah.
as can be gotten from all the other stuff you've got there. You've taken up one of the beds.
I think
You've
I was going
slept
to
on the
take
floor
one of the other
next
shifts
to the horses,
of-
or trancing on the horses. Sorry.
I think we were originally planning to have shifts of guarding the.
I mean, if we're asleep in the cart,
Yeah.
there's not much that can go wrong. And Amber does kind of wake up at the feather of a hat with an axe in her hand.
What?
Oh, wait!
The feather of a hat. What? She wakes up at the feather of a hat with an axe in her hand.
You know the worst thing? I knew exactly what you meant.
I knew it. I speak fluent Alice. But it reminded me of the vessel with the pestle with the brew that is true. And the flagon of the dragon.
That
The
was
paladin
a pure
wasn't the flagon of the
dyslexic
dragon.
moment. I
That's
had
what-
no
that's
idea
what
I would
it
even
was, sure.
said it.
That's a
Until you
fantastic
pointed
movie.
it out. I meant a feather. No, drop of a feather. I went to say feather of a hat again.
Or drop of a hat.
Are you staying inside the brothel?
Yeah, for sleeping.
Yeah. Are you staying inside the brothel?
Oh my dear.
Yes, I got him to clean one of the other beds.
Okay. You're staying inside the brothel as well?
Yes, I'm also sleeping with the horses.
You're sleeping with the horses. So there's actually one of the 4 bedrooms spare.
Valen.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. Looks like I got myself a bed. I might need you to do the thing you did with yours on mine as well. Yeah, excellent.
This is
He
Not
smells
like-
suspiciously like gunpowder.
Right at home.
All
Right.
right.
No, that's the other character for that one.
What,
I tell you what,
Waylon's
that's
not
my
actually
kind of
Matthew McConaughey?
No.
Do you have
That was
preference?
that was the other character you guys met at the start of the Citadel.
Ah.
Well, if that's the case, then and you've already paid up, and we've got these 2 lovely lasses here. I might utilize one of them for a bit.
Oh, good heavens.
Half an hour at a time.
Whatever.
What?
Yeehaw!
You need to be quiet, that was part of the deal.
He goes, come with me, doll.
That's it.
It's pump action.
What have I done?
You joined the club.
Might call it a derringer, but it's still deadly. Yeah, he takes out one of the rooms.
I can
takes out-
wield one in each hand.
That too. Yeah, he takes up one of the rooms, takes one of the girls, and basically makes a whole heap of noise. And the rest of you decide if you just go outside because it's not quiet in any sense of the measure.
I'm going to go out to the car. Imperius,
What?
could you do me a favor and cast a spell on Valen? Silence.
It doesn't last very long.
Neither does he. It's fine.
Well played. Cast silence.
That would be interesting.
What?
One way to be shooting blanks. In the morning.
The whole place has been cast in silence. You all wake up in the morning. You're hearing the sounds of the rain as it's tumbling in through the morning. Most of the holes that you've managed to seal up with your mending and so on and so forth has made this place actually reasonably dry now during the evening. And the ladies that have been here during the night have wandered off and gone back to their homes for the time being, and you are essentially there all by yourselves, except that you are there with Sarasha. And it is your morning.
I check my personal effects.
Amber
Is everything here?
Amber is snoring very loudly.
Have we been burgled?
Absolutely.
Really?
Because you asked it.
Yes, there's one thing which you found is missing.
What?
Any shred of pride or dignity.
I don't have much to begin with, it's fine.
You just haven't did that already.
I had a small amount.
No sense of shame. That's what you did.
Is it so...
No, you're gaining shame as we go along.
Shame.
So,
Shame.
I turn to Hayden and I say, "Good morning, guys." Same. Yeah, I know, right? It's gonna be one of those days.
I thought perhaps the storm would pass in the night, but apparently I was mistaken.
No, it's gonna last a while. Actually, Druidcraft.
It's going to be patchy rain all day, splotches of snow drift in the outer Alps, and I think we're going to have a high come through this area. And
Oh wait, you forgot to check the weather locally.
No, no. I'm like swiping on an app. Like,
turn your
no.
location device on.
Yeah.
It's currently 9.1. It feels like 5 degrees. It's down to a low of 6 degrees tonight, up to 12 degrees tomorrow.
That sounds cold. I like that. Yes. So.
So I'm gonna
Yeah,
freeze.
it's going to be
death,
a bit
okay.
of a patchy rainy day all day.
With 2 to 6 mil of rain.
Yeah, it's gonna.
No, 0 to 1 mil.
It's gonna carry on today. We don't have. We should get. We need coats for the horses. They'd appreciate that.
Maybe just ads for the heads.
Maybe.
Get the rain out of the eyes.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So I just
do that.
pictured going down the street in this cool cart with horses with straw hats on their heads.
Oh, see, I was
I
imagining
can make
top
straw
hats.
hats.
You have paid for the night. The night is now ended.
Yes, indeed.
And at some point in time, I would like my establishment back, if that's possible. And that may require some of these horses to be removed and the area to be cleaned.
It's okay. I'll tidy up after their leavings. I'm sure Amber wants it for her experiments.
She's an alchemist, not anything real.
In this particular place, I do not judge.
Are the gates? Are the gates open yet?
I don't know. Go outside and have a look yourself.
But it's raining.
In case things
Why are
go
you asking me?
slowly.
I'll give you a copy. You go outside.
What?
I'm sure that we can organise.
Chris,
What are you doing?
Hit the dice.
you knocked the frame.
You knocked the whole frame.
Sorry.
Oh, good.
We're shaking.
Earthquake.
I was just gonna say earthquake.
Would being out of here by midday at the latest be fine?
I'd probably go a bit earlier because I do need to make sure I clean up a little bit. It is so much that you clean up after the horses, which is, grand. But I'm sure you're not
Just
going
to,
to make the beds.
She has to clean up all the stains
That can be magicked away.
left by Valen.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure the place is cleaner than it's ever been, even with the horse crap.
It gives it a nice,
It probably smells the
musty,
nicest
earthy
it's been
smell.
Alright, well, let's leave then.
Yeah. I tidy up after the horses and we head off.
Yeah.
You walk outside and hear Amber's very heavy snoring.
Ah, beautiful.
If the
That's
cats are
what
rocking.
Imperius is inventing next. Earplugs.
Yes. Well, you've spent enough nights.
Just pour beeswax into your ear canal.
Or
What's
hers.
the worst that could happen?
Permanent deafness.
Let's put a wick in there as well.
Okay.
Bad plan, bad
Is
plan.
the general store open?
Yes, it is.
Sweet, I need to buy wax.
I also have need of some shopping.
Alright, so it's pretty much across the road.
Okay. I'll go and rouse Amber. Amber, wake up! And then I just shield up as soon as Amber, wake up!
Oh, good morning, Rowan.
Good morning.
What you need to do is have Druidcraft to have little bits of pollen just go up her nose.
No.
And so she's like violent hay fever.
No, she'll
awake.
paint the wall on the inside. Which would have been nice.
It's morning. Shh.
I'm more
Shall we go
concerned
shopping?
that if she sneezes while she's still got the axe in her hand, because she sleeps with it,
It'll go
then
flying.
it'll just go flying, chopping the side of the
Because
car.
she genuinely, it's like her cushion almost.
Shall we go shopping?
Oh, yes. Oh, I need to buy some more wax. I
Yeah.
used up all the beeswax.
Yeah, I couldn't get a huge amount.
No. And I have a lot of hair.
Dude, but that's okay.
Yeah.
This place should
But that's
have
why I
some.
chopped half of it off, you know?
Mm.
Well, technically 2/3. But anyway.
Yeah, I've already turned it into string.
Oh, that's efficient.
Yeah. Where's that one? Now, would you like some of your hair back in string form?
Sure. It's kind of cute, I think. Put it in my pocket.
We go shopping.
We go shopping.
Alright. What are the rest of you guys doing?
Going shopping.
Yes.
Shopping?
Go shopping. We'll
Shopping?
also point out. Volkir. Is that symbol the same as your symbol? Pointing to across the other side of the market.
It is, but it's also different. It's the symbol for the Undertakers.
They use the same symbol of the. That makes sense.
Being around these parts, I don't think that an Undertaker here would be following the laws of Kalimdor properly.
It's more of a variation of a deliverer of Kalimdor more than a follower of Kalimdor.
Yeah.
So those who do the practice of undertaking, and not necessarily clerics, but give their 2 cents to the god for the practice of what they do.
It's kind of like delivering the spirits of the dead to that god rather than praising that god.
No. It's more like I'm burying someone's body and giving it some sort of
Last rites.
honor for burying it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But I'm
Like,
just an undertaker. Not so much their spirit, is what I mean.
the same shit, different smell.
Kind of.
But yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah. It's kind of like, it's very, very common sort of symbol that you see amongst... It's very common symbol you see amongst the poor districts, more than anything else.
So, general store. I'm just going to head off.
You head off to the general store.
I think most of us.
Most of you guys are heading off to the general
Yeah.
store. Okay.
Yeah, shopping.
Alright, so you head off into the general store, the Golden Head and Silver Tail, as it's written on the sign that's at the front. It's a simple rectangular building like most of the other buildings in this place, and there, as you enter in the store, you hear the bell ring, and you see various crates and various baskets of fruits in half rotten and half fresh states type thing. Lots of your just general store, sort of get your vegetables here and so on and so forth, the general everyday working stuff. And you see standing at the counter at the back of the room is a tiefling who has very long purple hair braided down the back of her neck with horns that are shaped in a ram's. She is actually very blue though, very blue skinned.
Blue with purple hair.
And you also notice that as you look at her,
redhead with palette shift.
as you walk in and make eye contact with her, you notice that she has one of her eyes is kind of like the golden, golden colour, and the other one's a bit more silvery grey.
Oh, I get it now.
Can I help you?
Yes, I would like some clothes.
Well, the clothes are over there, and you can help yourself if you want to try them out and pay for whatever you need to pay.
Okay, thank you. And I go over there.
That's also what I was looking for. Desert robes are not suited for this environment.
Desert robes are not, no.
Yes. So essentially, I have come to a certain conclusion. It's the whole fear of being not allowed inside because I look too scummy, but also not wanting to be too fancy. So basically, the objective is wear clothes that make it look like I spend a lot of time outside, but that I have a job. So like, if it's cut as though I ride a lot, but it's also still quite basic.
Okay, yeah.
That's fine. Yep,
It's
that's
what's
fine.
Doable? Cool.
Yes. She's got like a whole set of shelves located towards the back of the room on the other side of the place. That's wholly for different clothes are sort of just like wrapped up there. As long as with wholly for fabrics too and rolls as well. All mixed up in that area.
So the thin grey tunic with just like a brown hood,
you look
and
at,
some brazen hose and stuff like that.
You go up to the back of the shop and have a look at the wares that she has there, and none of them are anything special. Very, very simplistic those.
Yeah. But yeah,
Is there
it'll do.
anything which would fit in with the Mousillon colours?
All of it. Not with Mousillon colours per se, but just all of it just fits in with the
It's very
general
Mousillon
populace.
clothing.
Yeah. So obviously, like the cut and style.
Yeah.
But would there be like I try to find stuff in like the blacks or really dark greys and yellows?
No, there's nothing like that. It's all just basically just grey, white, black,
And brown.
and browns.
Yeah. Sure.
Dyes are too expensive.
Hessian.
Hessian, yes.
Yeah.
Potatoes.
I'll go up with the hood, the tunic, and I'm the tunic and brazen hose. You're like, how much for these?
However much they are in the player's handbook.
A set of rider's clothes, adventurer's clothes.
2 gold pieces. I'm on the page right now.
Okay, I will.
I'm creating a shopping list.
I'm gonna go.
How many 10-foot poles?
None yet.
I'm gonna go to the trouble of making it seem like it's an inconvenience to find that much money on my person. I'm like, ooh, okay, I'll see what I can.
She's like, Richido. Well, if you have not the money to pay,
Ooh, hang on, here we go. I just reach into the haversack and just like scoop two off the top. Like, oh, here we go. Sorry, I found some.
I thought you were going to say, oh, do you take platinum? Can you break an electrum, woman?
Oh, I love some.
I can break an election. Just let me get my hammer out.
Okay, so yeah, so I will pay
Pretend it's a
her.
front door.
I'll pay her, and then does she have a change room?
No, not really.
Okay, well I'll pay her.
You have no sense of shame. Just change the middle of the fucking floor.
No, pay her. Duck back to the candy pillar, and then undergo a magical girl transformation, and just walk back out, dressed like this, but with like tidy braided hair as well.
Yeah,
Amber would have already braided your hair
Yes.
previously.
Like so. I was inspired by your drawing and I made ones. So it's like, it's
You become the fashionista of the group.
It's business
Sooner or
casual.
later, everyone else will be having braids in their hair.
yeah, it's
Me
very
doesn't have hair to braid.
it's a very dwarven and elven thing to braid hair.
It is very
Especially
typically
wood elven
dwarven and
rather
elf.
than
Yeah.
Mhm. So
That is true.
Except instead of little metal pieces, you've got little wooden pieces.
yeah, and like beads and stuff. So
Yeah. Wooden
Rowan
beads
is
instead of metal beads.
is now in his disguise and looks immediately more comfortable being around these people.
Got any gunpowder? No, I'm sorry, I do not have gunpowder. It's not something that would be stocked in. That's no good. I'm out of here.
Oh!
Does Valen know how to make his own?
Hmm?
Does Valen know how to make gunpowder?
Doesn't hurt to actually get some more.
No, I know that, but I mean, like, if they've got the ingredients.
They don't always have the ingredients.
I'm after some beeswax. Specifically more of the boot polishing kind as opposed to like the candle kind. But yes.
There is beeswax candles over there. There's like 3 of them left.
No, not candles. Like boot polishing.
Do you want beeswax?
Yes.
There are 3 beeswax candles over there.
Right. Don't worry. I'll make it myself. I'll get the candles.
Excellent.
This place is useless.
It's a general store.
Yes, but beeswax is normal. Like you polish your shoes with it. It's a muddy, wet place
I
here.
don't think these people know how to polish a shoe.
Excuse me,
Most of them
ma'am.
don't
Could you
have
tell me
shoes.
what of this you have?
You don't polish your feet.
Let us look. Alchemist fire.
Yes.
No.
Okay.
Ball bearings. Times 2. You want 2 ball bearings?
No, 2 packets. Oh, they come
2
in- they
1,000.
come in-
2 bags of 1,000.
2 bags of 1,000.
2 bags of 1,000.
I assumed there's a scribble here. You wanted to write 5 originally, but you've got
You
3.
change it.
Not 53 caltrops.
No, again, it's the groupings.
You write like a doctor.
Yes.
A scroll and what do you think this place is?
I'm just curious what you have.
A grappling hook.
Yes.
A magnifying glass.
Yes.
Which I'm sure is more than 100 gold pieces.
No, that's actually it.
Oh, I thought they changed it, didn't they? Oh, a magnifying
No,
glass.
I think it is
Not
a spying glass,
Not a spying glass, yeah.
which is also on the list. But down.
I could do a steel mirror. I can do pittons. I can even do rope. You always need rope in a place like this. Sealing wax, yes, that's easy to do. Pittons and iron spikes are essentially the same thing. I do not have a signet ring. I do have a tent, however.
You want a signet ring? Yes. I have this one, and I pull out the Dwarven Citadel King's signet ring.
Good heavens.
Here you go.
Can I do a roll to see if I see it?
If you want.
I'm smart enough to not do it in front of you.
It's a
so
small
I'm
shop.
gonna roll sleight of hand against
Sleight of hand
Yeah.
versus your perception.
Yeah, you're not gonna get it. Nat
Probably
20.
not.
Oh!
That's a sleight of hand of
15.
37.
37 or
Oh,
27?
27.
When Amber finds out, she's gonna
No,
fucking
it's
pissed.
straight 30. Straight 30.
I was going to say, if
Yeah,
it's
plus
30,
10.
37, it just appears in my hand, even I don't know how it got there.
Yeah, no, it's 30.
Amber's gonna be pissed when she finds out.
I could do a backpack with
You
a
know I
12,000.
have that.
I could do a bedroll and I could do a traveler's coat.
That is fine, I will get hold of that.
Yeah, no.
Can't do that, definitely. Can do that. You've got your signet ring. You can do that. You can do simple signaling wax.
What do you want it for?
Steel metal.
I'm going to customize.
Right. Just make sure you grind the symbol off before she sees it.
Thank you. Yeah, I got more than I thought I would. I'm happy.
How much were the candles? Do you? Oh, you don't have the page open anymore.
I can get the page open. What are you after?
Candles.
These are
Candles
actually,
there, 1 copper piece each. or
these are
something.
beeswax candles, which are actually generally more expensive than your everyday tallow
One silver
candles.
piece each.
Yeah, something like that. It's a silver piece each.
Yeah.
It's not even worth marking off
Focus.
silver and copper at this point.
How about every session we just mark off a gold piece for random shit that we just don't care about?
It's going to take 2,000 sessions to get rid of the gold pieces.
No, it's going to take
Why-
3 because we're
why
going to
don't
get
we
robbed
just-
in 2 sessions.
You're not carrying all of that copper and silver, by the way.
No, we left all the copper behind.
Oh
There's
no,
like 200,000
Amber.
pieces of copper. No.
Amber had some copper and silver already,
Prior.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
and not much of it, mind you.
I did not. I only have gold. Which is okay.
Like I had 20 copper and 50
Yeah,
silver.
I always say to take a small amount just for change, stuff like this.
Oh, I could use a crowbar.
Right.
got 3
oh,
pieces.
I'm supposed to do this shopkeeper in an Italian accent, and I completely lost it.
Pizza, 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 pizza.
But it's hard. It's really hard. I can do the Italian accent, but in a more male variety. So when I'm trying to do a female voice and do the Italian accent, it's really difficult for me.
If you can't do Italian, do Brooklyn. It's the
I
next
haven't
best
even
thing.
got. I completely forgot about the Brooklyn accent because the Brooklyn.
Hey, yo, Miss Scusi over here.
Me
You
and
want
the
a
boys
tent? I got
here.
a tent. We see a good deal.
No,
It's okay.
that's Joycey.
Joycey. Well, I got a Joe Pishy thing happening here.
Right.
You mean
writing?
funny ha-ha or funny peculiar?
I was
Funny peculiar.
Oh, yes. Also, Tim, just so you know, I'm currently not wearing my leather armor because it is very Van Warren. Like it's battered, but it's very Van
Yeah,
Warren.
very Van Warren. Yeah, that's fine. That's probably a good thing.
So I would also like to quickly pay a visit to the blacksmith, pick up a regular looking, pick up some long strips of leather and a regular old buckler.
A regular old buckler.
Emma's going to spend the rest of the time that she's not really doing anything, turning the candles into beeswax, for her hair.
It says shield,
Adding oil and
regardless of size, is 10 gold pieces.
Yep.
So if I take off my leather armor, I go from 16 to 15.
Take what?
If I take my armor off, I go from 16 to 15 AC.
Oh, okay, whatever.
Because leather does.
Yeah, not
not
much. Yeah.
So yes.
That's why you need mage armor.
Right.
Yeah, so yeah. And I will use the leather cord and just wrap it around my fancy staff to hide all the druidic embellishments that are on the exterior. So it's just like a walking stick, basically.
As you guys are busy doing your shopping inside the general store, there's windows that are showing at the outside, and they point generally into the open area of that market for the shanty town. Which, of course, across the road you can actually see the tavern you were at last night. Mm-hmm. However, this time today, you notice that there is a female. That you notice something about her, very human in her look, but sort of stands tall and has a certain thing about it. You can't quite figure it out, but sort of you associate with it. Someone you didn't see last night.
What is she doing currently?
Basically standing out the front of the tavern.
Like, does it look like she's looking for someone or waiting for someone or just...
every once in a while, if you decide to spend a little bit of time and sort of just keep an eye on her a bit, see what she's doing.
Well, she's taken my attention.
She, every once in a while, when someone comes into the actual tavern itself, she just looks them over and then looks back to it, just out into the street.
Already had some there, so yeah, give or take.
You can just keep an eye on it for the moment.
It looks like she's basically being a bouncer for the tavern itself.
Interesting.
She has like a long, thick, grey kind of dress that she's wearing, and a metal breastplate as well as part of it.
Can I roll an insight?
Sure.
To see if I can identify if she is an Azamar, as I kind of getting the gist that she may be. Never mind, my insight is pretty bad.
She's just gorgeous.
No, it's an 11. Not terrible for what I rolled.
She's got like long black hair with like a few silver highlights. She's like 6'6" tall. 6'6" tall.
So human, female, 6'6".
Yep.
Not unusual at all.
No, not unusual at all. But
She's all legs.
Oh, that would be weird.
Legs, boobs, and head.
Yeah.
I just like those drawings of
Like
kids.
5 foot legs, 1 foot body.
yeah.
Kids draw this when they're like 4 and stuff. They draw people with just no head.
I'm gonna extremely conspicuously sidle up next to Valkyrie and say, "Hello, fellow commoner. Good heavens, she is tall."
Are you feeling well?
I am perfectly fine, fellow commoner. How are you today? I'm trying to blend in. Is it working?
No. When you go up going fellow commoner, no.
Okay.
Don't worry. Amir has good plan which make you able to fit in.
Okay. I mean, I'm dressed like them now, right? This is nice.
Have you met David the Mute?
I speak 5 languages.
Well, now you just understand 5 languages.
Not including plants or animals, I speak 5 languages.
Jesus Christ.
I'm going to assume Amber
I
just
spent
went
2
back
months
into the
learning
cart
their
to make her
dialect of orchid.
beeswax.
Sure.
Yeah, actually, Pierce is probably going over to the car to dump the pile of stuff he just got.
Yeah, and I'll store my armor and fancy shield.
Yep, you do all of the mundane stuff that
Yeah.
you don't really have to go through.
Fair.
Do whatever you need to do.
We now look fancy. Or we now
Not fancy.
we now look appropriate.
Yes.
You know, look common.
While they're all shopping, I'm going to walk up to the Undertaker's building.
Yep.
And as I go to enter,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to concentrate on my armor for a moment and have it go to its full cleric style. So it's got the scales of Cannonball on the front.
Okay. So you're doing it. You're actually putting your symbol up.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. You see that there's a woman in there, and she's got the pointy ears of an elf. Very fine skin, but she's got like her back to you at this present moment in time. She has like this big, massive, kind of curly and unkempt black hair that's on top of her head. That's what you're seeing. You open up the door to the place. There's no ring this time, but you hear the creak of the door as it sort of opens up. You need a little bit of a pull on the door because it's slightly off kilter and it's like really wedged up right at the top right corner, so you get a bit of force into it, sort of get it open, which is kind of like her bell.
Yeah.
She like looks into you and you see a this is kind of like a human look to her, even though you've seen the pointed ears of the elf. And you kind of like notice that it's probably quite a lot shorter than Rowan, so you can guess that she's a bit of a half elf sort of thing going, of a moon elf from what you can see. She's got like quite bright patchy clothing, put together in different squares of different colours and so on and so forth, and she's like tried to pick some of the brightest colours you can possibly pick. And she's like, "How are you this morning, my friend?"
Not too bad. Yourself?
How can I help you?
I was just wondering about the work that you do here.
I make sure I look after all the departed bodies that happen to be in the unfortunate demise of living in the squalor here.
This wouldn't be looking after them like they do in Montanoil, would it?
I assume they'd be the exact same. Burying the den, making sure that their rights are put forward.
It's the other part that comes afterwards that
Well, one would assume that once they've been committed to the earth or burned, depending on what their beliefs are, that then the gods will take them on the path of the journey of whatever it is they need to do, and into the next part of their lives, I assume.
true, but the rites and gentle repose cast on those that have passed?
I do not have such abilities myself. I just make sure that the bodies that are dumped in the streets are at least given some sort of burial. I do not even know the name of half of these people that do, but give them something. Better than what they have, which is nothing.
Yes, it seems that the Mousillon as a leading party aren't very fond of their people.
I've been to a lot of places in my time. This place is not much different from a lot of others.
True, but I haven't seen the same sort of disregard.
You're human, you have not seen enough of the world, I assume.
I've seen enough of it. I've seen more than I want, really.
Well, it's
I'd
still
rather go
unfortunate
back
not
to my
to see.
temple and not have to deal with any of this.
One of those types. Well, this is what I do here. I look after those who have unfortunately just not got the ability to look after themselves once they end up dead.
Well, continue your good work. Hopefully this will help you. And I pull 50 gold pieces out and I just hand them.
She's like, blinks for the moment and it's like, thank you.
You do.
Thank you.
You do the works of Cannonball. He will help guide your way.
It would go a long way to make sure that everyone does get their proper burials. In fact, I probably can do a few more things now with this type of money. I appreciate it considerably.
That's all I want.
You notice that, like on a desk at the back, a cat jumps up on the actual desk and scatters a few bits and pieces here and there. But you also notice that the cat has wings.
Well, that is an interesting creature. Do I know what this creature is?
Roll a, let's say, nature check.
Nature?
Rebel.
It's whatever I roll. It's 14. So I might actually know what this is.
You've kind of like heard about something like this. You believe it's called a terresium. It's essentially a cat with wings.
You haven't seen
So
it.
bad.
I almost expected
Sorry,
the end of the conversation.
we've been very informal here. I am Matilda Dixon.
It's a beast.
This is the part where I don't mention that there's a winged cat inside the
Swear to God,
Volkia.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Volkia. If you ever need anything, your donation has been generous, and I will help in whichever endeavor I can. Would you like to know anything? You obviously must be new here.
Yes, we only came into town last night. We arrived too late to actually pass the gates. But
Who is we?
just a group of friends, and we've been traveling and buying and selling goods as we go.
Would that be like the dwarf and the elf and the other halfling?
Yes.
The news in this place spreads quickly.
I would imagine so. It seems a very sort of close-knit community, and they don't have a lot to talk about. So when
That is
someone
true.
new
Most of them-
rocks up,
Yes,
the talking happens.
it does. It does. I apologize for that. It's small world mentality, I guess.
It can't be helped.
But it probably won't reach the city itself for quite some time. Kind of like there's a bit of a separation, kind of like a separation of church and state here, kind of thing happening.
Yes, it happens in more cities than we are, trust me.
I appreciate the donation of 50 gold. This is enough money for me to leave.
Callumbo will guide you.
I will not leave. Everyone else leaves, and no one does anything to look after these people.
That's the problem. You're taking your time to actually lay people to rest and give them their proper rights.
I do the best I can with what I've
So,
heard.
you do the works of the gods. Callumbo will provide a way out for when you need it.
And you do the work of your god. It has been a pleasure.
May the gods guide you. Malik.
I almost expect you to say, so if we've got some bodies to dispose of later, we can drop a body here, right?
Like that's me.
That's him.
I see. I see Valkyria leaving the place just after I like dump my armor in
As
the car.
literally as I'm leaving.
Yeah, you make the sign disappear. Yeah.
Ooh, who's in there?
Just an undertaker and her pet.
Oh, a pet. Like a cat or something? I don't know.
Yes, cat.
Or something.
It was a strange cat, but it was a cat nonetheless.
I like strange things. I'm gonna poke my head in. I don't care what's the matter. I want to see this cat.
As you see the cat,
You won't be able
did
to
the cat
change into
hide?
the cat for how many levels?
It's like you, as you like quickly open up the door in the Roman type way without really paying much attention and whatnot. You feel like you've got to pull on the door and whatnot. You pull on the door and you see at the very last moment something jump off the desk.
Could I tell if it was a cat with wings or not?
No,
It was motion in the corner of
motion
your eye.
in the corner of your eye.
Okay.
But your enthusiasm scared it off. You are the victim of your own defeat.
I didn't see a moon elf.
Yes.
How familiar am I as a wood elf with moon elves in their culture?
She's a half moon elf.
Oh, half moon elf. Okay.
So
She's also following, like, the symbol on her door is a human god.
I'm just gonna say.
can I help you?
I say in Elven. Oh, hello.
I don't understand that. What are you saying?
Oh. I'm a bit disappointed now. I say that again in Elven, and then say, "Oh, I was just speaking in Elven. Do you not?"
Look. No, I do not.
Oh, it's a shame. It's
Yes,
nice.
a shame. Absolutely.
I want to read into her feelings about this. I'm very curious as to why she's not as interested in her Elven side. So, insight. 12.
Yeah, don't know. It's kind of like, this is a bit weird, but I'm not sure.
But elves are great.
Yes, elves are great.
Like, it's nice to be part of such a long-spanning culture.
One would say that, yes.
Well, I suppose I'm a bit biased.
Yeah, biases would be one word I would use.
Arrogant asshole.
And other B words like bigoted.
Okay, well,
Nice to meet you.
my friend said hi. I'm Rowan. It's nice to meet you.
Hi, Rowan. I am. I completely lost where I was. I am Matilda.
Matilda. That's a nice name. I just poked my head in because my friend said that there was a strange cat in here or something.
Well, it's a cat.
What?
It's a cat.
Okay. Then why did you call it strange?
And why would you be interested in a strange cat?
I like animals.
That's good. Elf.
Yes. Matilda. Rowan.
Rowan.
Yes. Oops, sorry. I used the wrong name already. I'm stupid, but I don't care.
Well, it has been a pleasure to meet you, Rowan. Do you have any particular person you need buried or anything like that?
Oh, is that what you do here?
This is what an undertaker does.
Oh, okay. No, I'm fine. Okay. I'll be going. Your door's a bit like as I'm closing, I'm like, ooh, this is like. I'll leave.
You open up the door and a cat comes in with wings.
I like it.
Actually, no, it's like he like just as you're about to open the door, you hear scratching at the door. And you open up the door and there's a cat like sitting there just going with wings.
Oh no.
And like brushes up against the door, then walks back away.
I'm gonna say, in cat, hello.
That's not creepy at all.
He like turns back to you and like, you know, does like a shimmer of its whiskers and like walks off.
You're beautiful. Where did you come from? No, come back.
Like looks back at you as he asks that. It's like continues walking
Oh,
off.
he knows he's beautiful. He knows all too well that he's beautiful. Thanks,
Just
Tim.
imagine-
Now I can conjure and be
I was gonna
those.
say now. I just feel like it's gonna be a Benny Hill of him running between shanty buildings chasing the cat.
Probably.
There is a bit of that. Probably.
There's a good like 2-3 minutes of everyone just like sneaking behind it badly, just going, "Oh my god, it's so fascinating!" It's essentially trying to learn the information that he would need to wild shape or conjure it.
What you don't understand is eventually you follow around long enough and it changes back into human and just goes, "Will you leave me the fuck alone?"
And now to add tresium to the things I've seen.
Oh man, the things I've seen.
The things I've seen.
Cool.
Anyone else want to do anything else while he's chasing up the cat?
Rowan, who was chasing pussy?
I want to use prestidigitation to make a dot appear in front of it. Is that the best or worst use of that spell?
This is just cool. A winged cat!
Yeah, pretty cool.
So is that just like a knockoff?
No, not Centaur. Pegasus.
Yeah.
I don't care. It's the best.
Well,
that mean
Pegasus is the horse with wings.
Yes.
There's-
He actually has the ability to detect invisibility.
And poison.
It's nuts.
Could someone pass me the ground cheese, please?
The brown cheese?
Yeah.
It's really good.
And actually
anybody else that
understands common. but can't speak it. So
And it is a beast as well, so I can talk to, wild shape into, and conjure. Also, it's...
Does it have a flight speed?
Yes, it does.
40 feet.
So you can't change into it yet?
Up to the next level.
Yes. But I can conjure it.
Yeah.
And it has an intelligence of 11, so it's actually very intelligent. Yeah, but still for a cat, it's very intelligent.
Yeah.
Well, it's more so than the average person, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
But strangely enough, not more so than anyone in this party.
That's debatable.
Oh,
I mean, going off our stats, yes, but it's debatable.
no, most of the people in the party are fine for their intelligence. They just make poor,
Decisions.
I stand corrected.
a 9 in intelligence, so a -1. I'm just lucky I have the bloody stone.
This is like the best.
Imperius
Ice cream, man. Ice cream.
Imperius is kind of like caught between he wants to go talk to the woman, but no. Because Imperius. He's probably like just standing there kind of awkwardly looking at it.
Does the shantytown have a market of its own?
You're probably finding that people are starting to set up in the morning because it's still in the morning, and most of the people
around the general store.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. It's mostly a few people come in with wares from the local area. So you notice that there are like flatbed sort of caravans, two single axle type things with just a single mule or something like that coming in. From what you've seen, there's good chunks of wool are coming in. The odd couple of dead sheep have been given over to the butcher, so on and so forth.
I was just going to say, I'm just wandering around helping people do stuff.
Oh, okay, so you're doing
Unloading goods or...
unloading goods and...
He's being his folk hero.
Yeah.
Imperius is probably like standing like awkwardly off to the side, just like occasionally glancing at her like something about her. Something.
The man they call
Yeah, which one?
Antoine.
The one at the tavern,
Are you obviously staring at her?
probably. I mean, he's not exactly
Imperius.
You're
subtle.
probably going to notice that.
He's not very subtle.
Well,
Maybe
I was
like-
at the general store too. Imperius.
What are you looking at?
The lady over there, she's something oddly familiar about her.
It's a lady.
You probably do notice that she
looks
is
like a lady.
standing with pride.
She's also, 6'6".
She's tall. She's like double,
There's-
triple my height.
There's just something
she's
about
super
her.
I'm
Dragon
pretty sure
Ball
she's
size.
actually taller than me.
Double my height.
There's just something about her that just seems. I don't know. I'm not exactly quite sure.
Well, why don't you go over and talk to her?
Have you met me?
You don't, I will.
You're
Don't talk
probably-
to her, because if he talks to her, she'll probably try to snap him.
What would I even say?
Hello, madame. It's a nice day, isn't it?
In it.
Going a bit cockney.
Excuse me, madam. You come here often?
Oh, you.
Do you know the way to
swing-
San Jose? I've been away so long. I might be wrong.
Does she have any like identifying like symbols or marks at all?
Is she 6'6"?
I'm talking about like a
She's wearing a
symbol
breastplate.
She does look like she's wearing a necklace of some type, but it's also tucked underneath her armor.
She's wearing armor.
Breastplate,
Breastplate,
not
yeah.
like full armor. Just
Hold on.
No, I mean like, but she's actually wearing
Yeah,
armor.
she was standing like she was the bouncer of the...
Yeah.
yeah.
I got that much, but I didn't. Yeah.
I'll walk over.
No. I'll walk over. Madame, where have you been all
You're like, what, at her kneecap?
I was just
You
gonna
are
say he's gonna
I will be back once I go to
across
the general
the
store and
field.
buy a climbing kit. I will get the pitons of love.
I would like to apologise for all the people who watch D&D when none of it happens.
I will climb you.
What do you
like a
mean? This is
mountain.
classical D&D.
Yes!
This is classical, this group of people.
You love it.
What makes it funny?
Alright, so here we go. I want to apologise to the person who put this NPC in for me and gave it the accent that they gave it, because this is the best I've got and I can't do it in a female voice, so you get the male version of it. What do you want?
I want to climb you like a mountain.
You're gonna get squished.
Please tell me when Amber's done making wax.
I'm just.
You think I'm standing here looking after all these particular people coming into the tavern? You think I can do this alright? I don't need you people coming in here to making sure you want to climb a mountain.
As I see
Was that supposed to be Texan?
as it starts to get more heated, I start walking over.
No.
and-
I got a gold on her.
I'll take it.
What do you want?
I just wish to, what is the word? I've forgotten. It's not my first language. Something about beauty. You are a beautiful, magnificent example of people. There you go.
Yeah, whatever. You going in or out?
Oh no, I did not want the entrance.
Is there something wrong with that man over there? He's having a spasm.
I'm remembering a story which should not be for the stream.
He is most likely taking a bet on you popping me.
I don't like to cause trouble,
He's a strange. But just punch me. It'll be fine.
Okay.
Really?
Does
Alright.
Amber see this?
You said
Okay.
you were too busy inside the
Yeah,
thing.
but
Okay.
I wouldn't take me all day to make it. So you let me know when.
Okay. When you make a decision to try and make something, it's not a 5-minute thing. You've
No.
got to spend most of your time doing it.
I've spent
Okay.
I'm spending a good hour, 2 hours.
It hasn't been that long yet.
I don't know that. That's why I'm asking.
Okay.
That's all.
You have decided to take yourself out of the scene,
Yeah.
essentially.
Okay. I just don't know how much time has passed in their shopping and their perusing.
For here on in, until I tell you, just assume you're not there.
Cool. Easy done.
Rowan's just like staring up at this Tressium like on the side of the roof going, no, come down, please. Here's a whoosh and goes, no, come down.
Pretty much.
I stand up from the other side of the square and go, "Oh, that was amazing!" And I slide off around an alleyway and fall over again.
Alright, you do that.
Did you take any damage from that?
I have no idea.
But
At
he
least
can-
1 point of damage.
Half health.
In a strange twist of irony, after getting punched by the woman, he can touch himself to feel better.
Fucking paladins!
Lay on hands is a healing ability.
I know.
Jeez. I need a paladin bard.
You people.
Just for that.
Also, so they're immune to disease.
They are immune to disease.
Yeah. Oh, and they can touch people to cure their diseases.
God.
I want to go to the blacksmith.
Alright then.
Sounds like you should go back into the whorehouse, but
The blacksmith, as you said, as I said earlier in the stream, you were walking by the place and you see that the curtain that was up originally around the outside of it is now being pulled aside, and he's basically got like a little bit of a pit happening, half a foot if that, going down into the ground a little bit, sort of give that earth, and he's got like that central fireplace sort of going and the bellows going out the back. He's got his assistant there, sort of doing the bellows type thing as he's heating up a bit of metal.
Is there a accent for the Mousillon area?
mostly French.
French?
You also notice that the person who's actually holding the bit of metal is the same hill dwarf you saw at the tavern last night.
Okay. Because now that I'm out of the traditional Nine Deserts garb, I'm trying to adopt the local accent. So if French will be the thing, then I'll...
French is the most common of the accents here, yes.
Yeah, cool.
And it's like normal French.
There is only one French and it's bad French.
No.
There's not one French. There's outrageous French.
Excusez-moi. Excusez-moi.
Sacre bleu.
No. Excuse-moi is nothing. It is pardon.
Pardon?
Pardon.
Pardon?
Pardon?
Can I help you?
Monsieur, I'm looking for to purchase sword, if possible.
I can hand a sword for you. That's French.
Scottish. That's Scottish.
I didn't know hill dwarves had multiple personalities. No.
No, it's not. It's French. That's right.
If we're substituting Scottish as French, I'm well happy with that.
No. You're actually noticing as he's trying to talk to him, there's like cutting out of the very typical dwarven sort of.
He's trying to fit in as well.
He's trying to fit in as well. Yeah, kind of like.
Amber lost her accent.
Is it in your other pants?
She left it at home.
It was in her other beard.
In her other pants, yes.
It was in her other beard.
On the mantelpiece at home. It's just like this beard hanging up.
Who am I kidding? I
With a
can't
couple
help
of
this.
umlauts and other accents.
You want a sword, eh?
Oui.
What type of sword do you want?
Do you have them on display here?
No, I don't usually make swords. There's no one here wants to buy swords because they can't afford it.
Simple swords, it would be this long with crossguard and almond-shaped handle. No, pommel.
15 gold.
Yes. That seems a respectable price. Is this with scabbard as well?
You might have to get that somewhere else. Probably make your own, maybe. I could probably put a loop in for you, a hoop or something like that. Yeah, like a round bit of metal that you can just basically put on your belt and then.
I was hoping for something custom made for the weapon. It is. I'd like it matching to look good. Yeah.
Look, I'm just a blacksmith here, mate, and I'm just.
That's just Aussie.
It is,
Mate.
Strove.
I'm just waiting here for a mate. Well, perhaps then you can make the matching sword and the dagger.
All right. Going straight Aussie now. G'day, mate. Yeah, I could do that for you. I should do hill dwarfs that way. Do them as Aussies.
I'm gonna walk up and tickle this wyvern. Struth! It's biting me really hard. I think I've lost my leg.
It's just a flesh wound.
I could do you a dagger as well.
What would the time frame be for some sort of purchase like that?
You think it'll be 4 days?
Just waiting on this.
Do you not have anything that could be made quicker?
Well, it takes a bit of time. You see, because if I go by the rules that are in the Dungeon Master's Guide, then it's like 5 gold pieces a day. Actually, it's probably 2 days. 2 days is probably better.
At this stage, perhaps I should see what is in the town, and if there's nothing there, I will get to the commission. This weapon. Is that suitable?
Aye, if you want to do that, but I don't see any other space in the area.
What do you have for sale? Do you have any items?
I do. You see horseshoes and pittons and nails and all of the general woodworking stuff. You don't see. You like a few metal tools, hammers, and all that type of jazz. You don't see.
Scythe?
Yeah, you would see scythes and sickles because you would see farm equipment. Yeah. Shears, all that type of stuff.
Plow to turn into armor.
Do you have any of the daggers that are balanced for throwing?
Nah. Nah. That's what I should say. Nah.
It's not how you make weapons.
It's not how you make weapons.
To be fair, you still have the scimitar that my character started with.
Yes.
Okay.
And I can also just summon whatever I want. But
yeah, fair enough.
It is about the appearance of what you are doing.
Well, if you want, go look elsewhere, but I don't think you're going to find what you need.
Sometimes I might find what I want instead of what I need.
Whatever.
You want whatever you need.
Thank you for your time and your accommodation for my requests. I will be speaking to you in the future if it is needed. Now I need to go drink some wine. Well, if the Mousillon are anything like the Bretons, they, a couple of years ago, they invented day drinking after cross-cultural pollination from the Van Waren.
Ah, yes.
I was there for part of that conversation. Containing green fairy in a plastic bottle.
No green fairy.
No, that was the Van Waren.
Can I go back into the brothel and cure them of their diseases?
Oh god!
If you want to, yes, you can.
And then cure Valen as well. So they don't get the diseases back tomorrow night.
Cure Valen of his diseases first.
God damn, it got my number booked.
Valen, why are you scratching so much?
It's not even been 24 hours. I'm not scratching after 24 hours. God damn it, do you know anything about diseases?
I'm thinking you had it already.
Shut up.
Remember, syphilis it is not funny.
Well, I tell you what, I'm gonna have to disappear for a bit, I think. Look, I know a few people in the area, and it might be a bit better if I distance myself from you obvious folks, because, sorry, no matter how much you dress yourselves up, Rowan's gonna say something stupid within the next day.
What?
I'm surprised you didn't say an Amber's gonna do something stupid.
That was coming next, you just let me finish it. The chances of someone saying stupid in this group is very high. So I need to make sure that, well, if I need to talk to the people I need to talk to sort of find out some things for you, see if we can get traction on what's going on, I might have to separate myself from you.
Okay, au revoir.
And you were wanting me to come, yes?
It's your choice if you want to come or not. I think it might be something, at least I know you would work in this particular environment, but not necessary, but I'm extending the offer, extending the hand, sir.
Weapons or no?
Of course we need weapons.
Alright, I mean.
Alright, well, I'll catch up with you people at some point of time. Rayleigh and I are gonna scope out a few other people that I know in the place.
We can always send your messenger bird if we need to
That's right,
get some
good idea.
information.
Yeah, that'll do the trick. Alright, well, say goodbyes, Rayleigh. We're gonna be disappearing for a few days.
I shall be back in a few days then.
Okay.
Catch you then.
Don't die.
If things get problematic, then send a message and we will assist.
Amir,
Drop
stop
that
it.
accent, Mir. It is such a bastardization.
It is not that bad. It is.
Oh, Jesus.
Once I am
I'm
in
not
character, it is
listening, I'm not
impossible to
listening.
change it.
Possible.
Also, with
And,
I am going to assume that with deceit plus 10, my Mir's accent is better than mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
If Amber was there, she'd be like, yes, it's as good as my dwarven accent. And then start talking really bad Scottish accent. Because I cannot do a Scottish accent.
All it is G-O, G-G-O.
GGO.
Alright, folks, then.
Probably.
It's good to
Can't
see you
find a better
guys.
spanner.
If there's any particular problems, I'll just make sure there's a large explosion.
Easiest way.
Easiest way.
If I see,
So is-
okay, so keep my eyes open for a large cloud, a large mushroom-shaped cloud of fire.
If it's got to that particular level of fucked upness, then yeah, we'll just leave.
So if there is a small explosion, we go towards. If there is big explosion, we go away.
I was just having a bit of a joke, you know, at your expense, because in a city like this, I don't even know if you'd see the explosion. I can't make that big of an explosion.
Well, it's not like it is going
You're
to
not
leave marks on
trying
the
hard
walls.
enough.
There is not feasibly enough stuff in this place to do that. This is not the Imperial City. That's a different place.
Well, there's plenty of charcoal.
Charcoal doesn't explode the same way as gunpowder does. Charcoal burns for sure. It burns for a while.
Charcoal is one of the. Never mind.
Well, let's head off, really.
Let's.
Alright. Goodbye, folks. We'll talk to you later again.
I'm gonna miss you guys.
I miss you too, Rowan.
Good luck, really.
How do you say goodbye in French?
Please.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Of course.
When you come
Au
back,
revoir.
I will have designed something for you.
Okay.
I would
I think
also.
my accent is just as
I
bad as yours.
would also like
in a
to.
different way.
I would also like to remind people, just because people might care after the fact, that Ray's currently carrying 4 people's shares worth of gold on his person,
Yep.
and people would know that.
Yep.
So
yes.
people-
It's now sitting in sacks in the back of the caravan, which means no one can use the caravan anymore.
Okay, sure.
Oh, should I just throw the whole bag of holding in there then?
You probably should.
Alright, fine. Here. I'm gonna toss that in the bag. The whole bag in.
The bagging in the wagon.
The
Is
bag
there
of holding
anything else
is
that
in.
I'm gonna
The
leave?
flagon in the bag in the wagon.
I mean,
Take your share. Leave the bag behind.
you want?
I'm in the caravan at the moment still.
Take 200 or 300 gold, it fits in your pockets.
Yeah, you probably couldn't physically take all of your gold, but we'll just say for the purposes of you've taken it for the purposes of you can carry it slowly. We just put it somewhere else so you get access to it later on.
There's probably
I mean,
Turns out Valen's had a bag of holding the whole time.
there's probably a bank in town that just puts it in.
Pulls out this big gun. Actually, no,
It's
it does.
where he's been holding-
It's got the
Quiver, yeah.
The quiver.
Of holding.
So it's got not as good as the have a sack, but still it's pretty good.
That's fine.
I
You just
shall
melt down all
temporarily
the
take
gold
ownership of the
into
bag of
javelins.
And then you can
Solid
store
gold
them.
javelins, and you can store them in the quiver.
Good point. That's actually not bad.
I mean,
Solid gold
I mean,
javelin.
soft as anything, but still.
You throw it and it just bends its flight. Smack him in the head.
It bloody hurt though. Also, I'd like to see you actually throw it.
Oh, so can you make change? Can you make change for this?
Pretty much, yeah.
You just start chiseling it off from one end.
Alright, so Rayleigh and Valen head off.
Oh.
I'll temporarily take ownership of the bag.
Alright. Well, no, you can keep it.
Shall we get the horses hooked up to the cart and go into town?
Yes, let's.
I think that would be an excellent plan.
As we've been like doing our mundane shopping, are the gates open visibly or manned?
They are both manned and open visibly, yes.
Lovely.
Hey-oh. Comes this way.
So you hop on your cart and attach your horses and drive off to the gates of the city. Alright, you approach the gates of the city and you see there's at least a dozen soldiers in various places amongst either along the parapets and the towers and along the bottom as well. There's heaps of guards here. And you're approaching and it's mostly quiet. There's not really like many people around other than the guards themselves. You see ahead of you another cart full of wool that approaches them. And this is a reasonable distance ahead of you, so you're only seeing this, you're not hearing anything. They stop him, make him get off the cart, start shoving swords inside the wool and stuff like that. You hear him kind of like throwing up his arms, like arguing type thing with them and whatnot. And they're not caring, they're just like pulling wool out off the back of the thing.
Oh my.
Making sure he's not smuggling people in, I guess.
So yeah, just like pulling all the wool off. A couple of them are just like pushing him over and like laugh.
Seeing this, and just because we're still kind of paranoid, I'm going to take my winter blanket, wrap my armor and shield up in it, and make it look like it's just a pillow on one of the hammocks, and just be like, yeah, this is fine.
For your gold?
No, for my armor and shield.
Okay, yeah.
And leave it there.
How much coin is sitting in the back of the caravan at the moment?
Like about
Something
8,000
like 8,000 gold?
An obscene amount.
An obscene amount of gold.
Is it in the chest?
No,
Nope.
no, the chest can't fit all of that gold in.
Chest has got some of it.
There is basically sacks of gold sitting in the back of your car.
There's not enough room in the haversack or the bag of holding for any more than that.
No.
Can you go to the back and just like hide it in the corner?
No, before we do, what we're going to do, we need to go to somewhere where there's some stone.
You guys are in this particular point in time when you've approached the gates themselves. You were on the dirt ramp leading up to the gates when you've noticed all this. So
If we
be
try and
aware
turn
of whatever
off
you try and do right now.
Yeah.
You can be seen.
I can talk to these people, but they don't want to make it too obvious.
Wait, is this gold like in the form of gold, or is it in like in copper and silver? Because
No, we let
Mostly, you took most of the gold. I think
we
you
took-
take
We took
some
the
of
silver and the
Yeah.
gold and the platinum.
okay, so it's lots of bags of silver and some bags of gold.
Yep.
Okay.
And they're all basically just pushed into a corner somewhere.
I Amir,
Mhm.
I can't believe it took me this long to think of, but couldn't you have found us a better way into the city than this?
It is possible, but it is. We have to deal with what we are doing now. If we had more time, but perhaps we do not.
Right.
We just get on with it.
Yes, it'll
Because if we turn around
fine.
now, it'll look so suspicious.
I'll get about 100 gold. So nice. So
Make sure,
on
make
the
sure you people
front.
are marking off the
Yeah.
gold you're spending.
Yeah, I'm not. I
I
haven't.
haven't spent any.
Yeah, me neither.
Well,
Amber
I haven't
doesn't
spent
really
this
spend
yet, so
Yep.
we'll just make sure I have that
You
on
bought
the front
candles.
of the thing.
Alright, you approach the gates.
Bonjour, messieurs.
Candles.
No, I'm
Good
not.
morning.
Bonjour. And who are you?
My name is Louise.
Is it?
No,
Can you roll a deception roll, please?
Oh no.
I couldn't remember if that was the name they gave me. What is it?
11.
Yeah, 11.
Louise, is it?
You will have to forgive my friend Louis. He has found the woman of his dreams. It is
Oh yes, she's magnifique and 6'6".
tall like a mountain.
How did I
He is
not
a man
see
of love. He's brain dead.
I
It
don't
is.
know.
I'm just like
Right.
pokes her head out inside the car and goes, "What?"
You didn't tell me you found true love.
I don't know if it's true love, but she's amazing.
Can you roll a persuasion roll then?
Me? No, Amber's being genuine. But I'll
no,
roll
not
it.
you, him.
Oh, him.
9.
Ooh la la.
I was trying to help cover his.
Yeah, do it with advantage actually, sorry, because he was helping.
10. I read one number more.
Probably should have cast guidance.
The best course of action is they think you're an idiot. That's the best we can hope for.
So you have apparently the woman of your dreams, and you are apparently Louis.
Yes.
Oui.
He is Louis. I am Francois. We are seeking to do some trading into this town. We want to purchase some items and sell them further down south.
Well, deception roll.
Deception, persuasion.
Depending on what you say.
Yes, I would.
Well, that one is lying. So.
Yeah.
14.
So you are merchants, you say.
Oui.
You apparently have this love of your life, and apparently you are Louis.
Well, I'm the merchant. He is one of the.
What is in your
guards.
caravan?
Hmm?
What is in your caravan?
Our gear.
Can you open up your caravan so we can look?
Yes, it is belongings.
Imperius is sitting on the back step, just kind of like hanging off the edge a little bit.
Like two of the guards come around to the back step.
I'm also in the caravan, just on one of the hammocks.
It's kind of just sitting there like that.
We are.
Can you please
Okay.
move out of the way of the back of the car?
What?
He basically just grabs you and pulls you off.
Monsieur, this is. We have been traveling for such a long time. It has been quite a journey. Is there perhaps any way we can ensure this is a smooth and easy process to allow us to go through quickly? I understand that it's such a.
Of course it is. I understand exactly where you're coming from. It is a long journey to go to the Black City. The quick and easy process is to shut up and let us do our job.
I'll reach into the pouch and just sort of. Clink, clink, clink.
Showing off his money.
Do a persuasion roll.
If only I had the spirit of an owl behind me.
I should have said something.
22.
That is a very nice trick you have there with the counting of the coin. Can you please open up the back?
I am. My apologies, I am actually not very good at counting. Perhaps you could count these coins for me?
Oh
That's gonna be a bad place.
Roll persuasion again.
Good grief.
Okay, 26.
Well, it is important that we do also count the money that you have. If you are crossing the border with certain money, then we might have to seize it in case you're buying drugs or something. I don't know. I shall count your coins. And you hand over 100 coins, I assume?
Yes.
Okay, he starts like counting it out. So This is fair. This is
I
good
was
to know.
told there was 50 there. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Ah. It's great to be sure that people have been honest in this town. And I take, presumably, the 50 back? Or is he...
He's got the whole.
Oh, he's got the whole bag? Okay, cool. Yeah.
He's gonna keep it.
Yeah. I assume you gave him a whole 100, but then
Yeah,
you
yeah.
said, then you said 50 as his clue that he can take whatever he wants, or
No,
take
yep, that's fine. Yep.
at least take 50. He'd probably actually.
Yeah,
he's
that would be
he's
kind of the
fair at
opening-
100.
Yeah.
Yep, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So the opening bid was 50, in which case you give him the option to give 50 back.
Yep.
If he then goes...
No, there's
No,
only
this is-
20.
Yeah, sorry.
yeah.
I understand now. Yeah, no, he does. He hands back,
Hmm.
you know,
If
50
he,
coins that he's.
if that seems to be an appropriate amount.
It is. It is very good. Alright, boys, step through. And you guys head through the front gates of the Black City itself.
Emma's just gonna turn to.
behind as he's being thrown to the floor.
Emma's gonna turn to whoever's standing next to her and go,
Me.
how does he do that?
I don't know.
It's a kind of magic.
Oh god.
The ability to talk can
Like-
get you into a great many places.
And also
It doesn't make sense though. He just said random words. A sack of money.
There is
Gave
an
it
obscure
some-
type of magic called capitalism.
Get it.
It's very
Trump-
powerful magic.
It trumps feudalism.
Oh, and there's a lot of things you'd like to do to Trump.
And as you guys head into the Black City under the watchful eye of the guards, you are now in the sprawls of the city itself. You see many buildings out ahead of you. This main road that you are on will head center from the sea, head towards the center of town. To your right, you can still see the giant citadel representing the head of the Mousillon kingdom, essentially, and lords and ladies in that general area, of course. And of course, because while the light is no longer on during the night, you can still see in past all of the buildings the tower to the left-hand side, which has got a very different look to the rest of the city. So it's not black or burnt or anything like that, like the rest of the city.
Does it look newer
It
or
looks
just different?
much newer?
Yep, okay.
much newer.
So it's not like it's been cleaned. It's been that it's been built since
Correct.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And that is where we'll leave it off tonight.
Wait,
Okay.
Monsieur, can you direct us to the best tavern in town?
And that would
No,
be.
we
oh, wait.
have heard the place.
I have this. I have it. Wait, I wrote it down. Hang on.
The black something, wasn't it?
The Black Rook.
Yes!
Yes, that's exactly it. The Black Rook.
Which way do we go for the Black Rook?
Just head up the main road there, and a couple of turns here and there. But if you keep on the main road, then you will head into the market, and the market will have the Black Rook.
Okay, merci, monsieur.
Merci.
Bonsoir. No.
Merci
Bonsoir.
beaucoup.
Bonjour.
Bonsoir is good evening.
He's speaking fake French.
Yes, you have now entered into the Black City itself.
Finally!
Dum,
We're
dum.
finally here! We're gonna ruin everything.
And we all die.
TPK.
Well, it's not about how you die. It's about how many damn people you can take along with you.
It's also not about it's not about the destination. It's the journey. But also, thank God we're here. It's taken us forever.
I was enjoying the journey. To be fair, we're probably running out of time.
Yeah. I mean, like, we've got to get you back to your homeland so you can get married.
Oh no! Emma does not want to go.
Maybe that nice Ildorf who was back there in the slums.
What
All right.
Ildorf?
Thank you all for those who have stuck around and watched
the
us.
blacksmith, he can
Actulia.
have your anvil if it is appropriate.
No.
You could name it easy and maybe that would work better.
No.
I would like to also point out to those who talk about ice cream and chocolate, who I hate you all. I really want some ice cream now.
I ran out of Ben and Jerry's. I had a tub of cookies and
I was so disappointed with Ben and Jerry's.
chocolate chip cookie.
Yeah.
dough.
Yeah, some of them are terrible.
Some of them are awful.
food.
They have a one called Scotchy Scotch Scotch Scotch, and it's got nothing to do with Scotch. Yes.
There's also one called fish food that has
Yes,
nothing to do
excited.
with
I
fish.
know it was you.
It has no chocolate fishes in it.
Yeah, but not actual fish.
That's disgusting. Why would you want
What?
fish in your
You want fruit
ice cream?
flavored chocolate?
I don't. It's just deceptive of a name.
Of
I
how,
mean, Chunky Monkey doesn't have any chunky monkeys in it.
how do you know?
Does it have chunks of monkeys in it though?
They're running replica.
monkey brains.
They're liars at Ben and Jerry's. They're liars.
I've had Vegemite flavored ice cream.
That's just
Was that one of those like trampoline, one of those ice cream chain stores?
Yeah.
We randomly found that we have a trampoline down the side of the house.
Oh yeah, last night we discovered we have a dismantled trampoline next to our bedroom, just outside the house.
We have no idea where it came from.
Yep, no.
We got it.
Are you going to use it?
Someone was going to use it to
It's
bounce into
dismantled.
your house.
Then remantle it.
Alright, everyone, let's say goodbye to everyone on the channel. And say
Aww.
good night.
everybody.
Back next week to continue on with their little investigation into the Black City itself. Thank you all for coming along and see you next week.
Have a good night, guys.
Didn't notice.
Mwah.